Cole Ragans. And we knew it very quickly that was an unbelievable trade. And they take care of him. He gets a nice pay raise and everything, and it's still, I think, a very, very team-friendly deal involved with that for Cole Ragans, but he gets some financial stability for a guy that's had some injury history. The longer this keeps going, like we already knew it was the best trade and best move in the J.J. Piccolo era, this is now getting closer and closer to being, dare I say, the best or second best move trade-wise in Royals history. Yeah. Not just in the JJ or Dayton Moore era. I'm like trade-wise, not draft pick or anything. No, we're talking about for a trade, it might be the best one we've seen in this organization's history.
It's too early. You have to have like it has to like work for longer.
I hear you.
If it continues to work at this rate, it is absolutely the best trade in Royals history. It's already one of the best trades in Royals history. We know the James Shields one eventually led to a World Series title, so there's some weighted part of this versus, but you only got Shields for a couple years. You then got your Royals Hall of Fame closer in Wade Davis out of the deal as well.
That's the answer right now. That's the answer right now.
I think that is the answer right now, and it led to an eventual World Series title. This one doesn't have to lead to a World Series title in my mind. You might have gotten a Cy Young Award winner for a 4-month rental of an aging reliever. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. That's like the person who traded the toothpick into a house after 12 months. Like, it's like that level of deal. It is, you started with nothing and got the world. Like, if this works out to the level it continues to, I don't think you can do any better in a trade. It might be the best trade in Major League Baseball in the last 5 years out of any team. And that includes like trading for Tatis and stuff. I don't know.
I also think last night, and this includes Pablo Lopez too, last night, that game is an example of how a game can be ultra entertaining and it can be a pitcher's duel. I know a lot of people love offense, right?
Oh, that was good.
And we all love seeing home runs and everything. But that was a hell of a baseball game last night. In a game in which the Royals had, 3 hits to be able to get the win?
Yeah.
That's not something you typically are going to find a way to win games when you do that. But when you have Cole Ragans on the mound, it's possible. It's a pitcher's duel. That was really, really fun to watch. And Cole Ragans, we've known this now for over a year, but every single time out, you can win, no matter what. Whether you get 3 hits or you get 10 hits. Cole Ragans is going to give you a shot to win every single night out. That's what an ace does of his staff. And I know there's some other guys on the staff you're confident in as well, but there's a reason why he's the opening day starter 2 years in a row. There's a reason why he got the nice little extension this offseason as well. And he's right now looking like the guy that was pitching in mid-June, mid-July of last year. Like right away. He had the opening day, right? Wasn't as sharp. That looks foolish at this point in time, right? To be worried about that. Any of you that texted in that day, like, oh, I don't know. No. The last 2 outings, he looks like the Cy Young guy again.
I mean, I thought he was going to strike out 20 the way that game was starting last night. What do you have, 9 strikeouts through 4 innings or something? 7 through 3? I don't remember the exact numbers now, but I mean, it was crazy. And I think Why Not pointed out on Twitch, it's kind of like it was a pitcher's duel, but there were runners on base. So Correa would hit the leadoff double, and then Ragans would go strikeout, or whatever. So there were threats, which I like. And again, they won in a way that is sustainable. Cole Ragans dominates, and they're like, well, how do you get the runs if the other guy, because Pablo Lopez is really good, how do you get to the other guy? And the answer eventually was you made one little mistake against Bobby Witt Jr., and all of a sudden he was standing on third. And Vinny Pasquantino's single greatest quality, I think, as a hitter is he understands that it is a job. Sometimes it's a hard job, and it's a lunch pail and whatever. It's a job to get runs home. It doesn't matter how pretty or ugly or how you do it. And I understand he flew out earlier in the game with the bases loaded because you're not going to be successful 100% of the time. But it is a job. And so his job in the 8th inning there is get one guy home. Bobby Witt Jr. is real fast. If I put this ball in play, it doesn't matter where the guy's playing it first. If I put it in play, Bobby is likely to score here. And that's all he did. He grounded out to a guy playing in, and they still didn't get Bobby Witt Jr. out.
Yeah, Bobby's speed is why that ball, why the pitcher was rushing it, because he knows Bobby's capable of making a very close play at first. He rushed it, and then obviously Bobby took over on the base paths, and that in its own right is also extremely fun to watch. Look, it's early and everything like that, but you look at the 6-5 start now for the Royals, and then you go into the games that they lost, a couple extra inning games, very close games. There's been out of the 11, maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, there's been one game where you truly thought they couldn't win, after a few innings? Like they can obviously win any night, but you know what I'm saying.
One?
There's like
Yeah,
one
maybe
game
just
where
one game where
you're like,
runaway.
okay, it's just one of those nights
Is that
at
like
the ballpark.
6-1 game they lost or whatever, and they were down really early?
Yeah, like going in, of course you can win any game, but I think that was the only time out of the first 11 we're like, okay, they really aren't in this game. Every other game they were right there in it, and now they've won 3 in a row, and importantly, it's been against a couple division wins here, I should say, against Minnesota to open up the week. And yeah, man, I think last night was one of those you feel like you stole one too because the back end of the bullpen wasn't available.
Yeah, you did it with Schreiber and out from Lynch and Zerpa pitched the 7th, I think, right?
He was warming up. Did he come in? Yeah, he did. He did come in
Zerpa pitched the 7th.
Yeah, so you did it without Urseg, and you did it without Harvey, and you did it without Estevez. That also made it impressive. Think about everything that had to come together last night. Divisional opponent, 3 hits. You didn't have your best bullpen guys. They had their ace on the mound. Your pitcher was better.
I mean, it's not a game you're supposed to win. When you get 3 hits and 2 runs, that's a loss a pretty good chunk of the time.
Well, like the bullpen to slam the door like that was really impressive in a game where they had no margin for error because of the lack of offense you were going to get.
No. And again, just sometimes you need an ace to outduel. Like you need an ace to always keep you in every game, but you need aces to win you games you shouldn't win, right? You're supposed to win games with them on the mound sometimes when you only get 2 or 3 runs, which is what he did once again. And you're right. The back end of the bullpen thing, I thought it was going to go. I thought they'd do Zerpa, and I thought they'd get to Lynch sooner. They saved him for 1 out.
Yeah, I think Q was asked about that. I believe the answer he gave. I was listening post game last night. They wanted to potentially save Lynch if the thing went to extras. Like they wanted some length in the bullpen at that point in time. So maybe that's why they held off on Lynch a little bit longer too.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, especially in a game that close, you're probably not going to risk it. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't nervous about Schreiber getting a couple more outs.
He makes it interesting, but you know what? He also can get out of those jams.
He stresses me out. He stresses me.
Give him credit though, 5 outs last night. That was impressive.
Yeah. Oh, it was. He did a great job. I mean, again, the bullpen is Schreiber would have been their 8th inning guy, 7th inning guy for parts of last year. Like the idea that they have the ability to like in one game need him, and they answered you know what it is. You don't always answer the bell. In this case, they did. Hey, we were hoping to use you in a game that wasn't 2-1 in the 8th inning or 1-1 in the 7th, but we need you, so can you be good today? You can be bad the next time when we're either down 7-1 or up 7-1, but can you be good today on a day that the rest of the bullpen isn't available? Because the Royals are in the middle. Aren't they in the middle of a
17 straight games.
Yeah. So, I mean, the bullpen's going to be kind of a challenge to navigate over the next few weeks anyway, just based on that alone, I would say. It's a bit of a challenge, but Drew, I do see you're talking to a lot of people on the text line.
Oh my goodness.
Boy. We got to talk about this later.
We'll get to the Masters, man. Drew's going back and forth with people, arguing about what they could hit at Augusta. This is a classic sports argument of among friends, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I could easily do this.
I know, but I'm dead serious.
I know you are.
I know you are. I'm dead serious on my end. What's your working handicap?
Like right now, if I went out and played, what would my handicap be?
Yeah.
For 18 holes.
Yeah. That's a handicap. You're asking weird questions.
Well, no,
if I ask any golfer what's your handicap, you know what I'm asking. Like I assume you keep your score in GEN or whatever, and you have a like a functional handicap, like
right
an
now,
actual handicap.
probably a 7 or an 8.
Okay. I haven't played golf with Drew, so I don't actually know.
Oh, I know Drew's really good at golf. I still don't think he's breaking 100 Augusta, but I know Drew is very good at golf.
I could bogey 9 holes. I could double bogey 9 holes, and I shoot a 99.
So we'll get to it, but you know,
I don't even have to get a par, and I can
take
still
a deep breath. The text. I mean, you came in hot.
Oh no,
Dusty irritated you a little bit, is what happened.
No. In fairness,
you came in.
I said what I said, and everybody else is responding or saying something to me about it. So that's why I'm responding. I'm not going at people just recklessly.
913-586.
Spec and I think that we can do it. If you gave me a month straight to grind at the range and get things dialed in, I can break 100.
I'd love to ask I know a couple of scratch golfers. I'm curious what they say about their game.
Let's talk some NFL for a second though, because Pro Football Talk was discussing the future of scheduling in the league with a former NFL PA executive. And this has been rumored for a while. We know once they went to 17, then we were not far away from getting to 18 games. And once we get to 18 games, we're not far from getting to 19 or 20 games, right? We know how this is working with the NFL. In the interview with a former NFL PA executive, he said he expects the 18-game NFL schedule to start before the CBA is up. The CBA,
They're not going to wait that long?
The CBA is up in 2029. right before the 2029 season. He's saying it's happening before then. Remember, we're entering the 2025 season, so it's not happening this year. The earliest it could happen is the 2026 year. And he says it's before 2029. Wait, it's trailing. Why should I think that's not going to happen in 2026 then? The fact that this is already being discussed the way it is, I have a feeling in 2026 we're going to have an 18-game, 19-week schedule or however they're going to do it. And at that point in time, the players, will get something back in return. What? They're going to knock preseason down to 2 games? One game?
I mean, if you're not getting something in exchange for this, why are you agreeing to it? I think the NFL has decided, hey, we are giving you this money. Like, the cap will go up and you'll make more money and a bigger salary. But, like, for the players who are actively playing, that's going to come later. And some of those guys have already been paid. And now they're going to be asked to play these additional games. And that extra money is really going to go to some 19-year-old playing at Alabama right now, not me. So I'm going to have to put my body at risk in my NFL career sooner for some money that I'm personally never going to see. Like, can you at least raise the cap higher than the amount it should be now so that we, the players who would have to play these additional games, start seeing some of that money sooner rather than just waiting till the actual numbers go up? I think the huge reason for this is because the NFL realizes they currently, and they haven't for a long time, they have an inventory problem. They need the 18 games because of how much money they want from these streaming partners, and it's effectively becoming an inventory problem now. In order to fulfill the needs of Prime, Netflix, Hulu, whoever the hell wants in the live sports game, they don't have enough games without you and I sitting at like a Sunday noon slate. Like, what do they have, 4 games, and they all somehow have the Browns playing? Like, unless you want that, they realize that they're kneecapping themselves, and with an additional bye week, which is, again, they're not giving you anything. That's just something you have to have if you're playing 18 games. It just doesn't feel like, I don't know why you would do it unless the NFL's like, well, then we'll just hold out against you anyway. Because we know in the NFL it's a bigger problem than in other sports. They can't hold out as long.
They're going to get to 18 games. We've known this. It's going to happen. The question with this always is, at what point does it truly become too much? I know a lot of us already think 17 is too much, but I mean truly to where it impacts viewership. Because we could all sit here and say, I was fine when they played 16 games, or I was fine when they played now 17 games. But what's the cap? Because if they go to 18, 20 is not far away. But what is the number where you actually deep down believe it would hurt the product? That people would stop tuning in, that the product would really, really suffer? Maybe you think we're already seeing signs of that. I don't know. But what do you guys think that number is? 913-586-7965. Is it 20? Is it 22, as crazy as that sounds? What's the number where it actually becomes a true problem and the product sucks and you stop watching a little bit?
I mean, I don't know that we're not already running into that. The average NFL career is 3.5 years. If you add an additional game to every season, we can safely assume that the average NFL career is now 3. So, quarterbacks may still be able to handle this because they continue to add protections in order to keep them mostly upright if they can. It's still a sport in which you can get hit. But like anybody else, defensive ends, like you think about how quickly running backs get out of the league. Imagine if Christian McCaffrey's got to play 4 years ago, he had to play 16 games. And he couldn't even get through 16 then. Now he's got to try to get through 18. What's his career?
Well, that's where I wonder.
They're going to run running backs into the ground.
One, I think we're already starting to see this be an issue. But let's say the answer, eventually the number is 20. That's where we get into the real load management conversation that we have in the NBA.
Which people don't like. They don't like the star players not available.
If the league actually goes to 18, which they're going to, and if one day gets to 20, and let's say that's the cap, although I don't know if it will be, that's when I actually think you would see, and I would understand it, where teams would look at the schedule like the NBA does a little bit, where you would have players in a Week 12 game that just don't play. Well, that's where the product obviously suffers.
I would give Travis Kelce 1 game off a month. I do think you would have to, I think you would be even more cautious about injuries. How about that? I think as you got this guy and he's got a little hamstring strain, he's probably sitting out an additional week because the 18 weeks does buy you time to be worse early and make it up later because there's more wiggle room. Part of the NFL season and why every week feels so important, and this is where I don't think they're thinking about it cannibalizing itself, is that there is pressure to win because there's only so many games you can afford to lose in order to still be in the playoffs. If you get to 18, what can I could probably go 9-9 and make the playoffs. in a 7-team field. I don't have to get it all together early on. I can take an extra week with the running back or the defensive end or the corner or those guys outside those numbers, and I can figure it out. My big thing is like, it's always the same stuff. They always complain and they change all these rules and they change the way the sport works, all in this mindset of player safety. And then they're just like, play more, which we know is the least safe thing they can do out of any of the things they're doing. You can tinker with the kickoff all you want. You can bring in the guardian caps and a million other things. If you add more games in which I can get hit, that's the least safe thing I can do. It'd be less safe than using a helmet from the 1960s or whatever, you know?
Yeah, like some of the text line says the NFL owners better hope the players don't get a stronger union. They can see an NFL strike.
They do have a bad union.
The one thing with the NFL, the reason why, out of all the sports, I'm always less concerned in today's present day makeup that we'll see a strike is when there was the brief holdout or whatever. I don't know how many years ago that was.
It wasn't very long.
Yeah, it wasn't long because you run into the issue of the Mahomeses and these guys have plenty of money. They could sit out a whole year, they'll be fine. They can sit out 2 years, they'll be fine. But you said it, Cody, the average career is 3.5, 4 years or whatever. The guy that just finally made a roster that's making the league minimum or hasn't even got his check to make the league veteran, not even a veteran, I'm talking about the guy that's an undrafted. Look at Carson. Let's just use Carson Steele as an example. Imagine Carson Steele or Pacheco, any of those guys. You know, those are the players that can't, quote unquote, afford to just skip out on a whole season.
Well, I just told you how short their careers are.
Yeah.
Most of the NFL can't afford to sit out an entire season. It's like 20 quarterbacks, 20 wide receivers, 20 defensive ends, and then everyone else is like, no, I kind of need the next check to keep this thing going. I know it's more players than that, but it's not as many as you think. And so, yeah, they kind of have them over a barrel a little bit. And the idea that they're not even going to wait the 4 years, they're just going to try to supercharge this thing. It's going to be 2 preseason games. They should try to get it to 1 or no preseason, just eliminate it.
The concession will be knocking it down. If we had 4, now we're at 3. We'll knock it down to 2 preseason games. And you watch, the NFLPA, for job's sake, they'll ask for a few extra roster spots. So you'll have even the practice squad will get even bigger, or the 53-man roster will become a 56-man roster or something like that. More jobs, right? That something like that will probably be what the concession is, but the owners are already kind of, I feel like, willing to do that. They'll take that for an extra game and an extra $100 million in TV revenue or whatever it is over 10 years.
Here's the problem. Text line said, hey, could they just add more roster spots?
Yes,
But like you mentioned, which is like, I don't know that works, because then the players who are in the league right now don't want less money. The more
but that's a big fight. The NFLPA is on the record of saying they want more roster. It's more like overall, it's more jobs for their members, right? Like if we're viewing it from that way.
I guess. I mean, you still keep it at 16. You go outside that number, but I mean, it is cannibalizing yourself. Like the extra money to go around because the 18th game in revenue gold doesn't exactly. It gets spread a little thinner. That's all, if that makes sense.
And I understand. Like this is always that when we talk money with professional athletes, we always get texts on the like, oh, they make enough kind of. The one thing I always say, we're talking about the 1% of the 1% at their craft. And so you're right. Like the guy that's only making
that money last a really
the guy that's
time.
only making $700,000. Of course, all of us would kill to make $700,000 for a season, for a year, right? But also, we're talking about they're literally at the high. Like if you're the best insurance agent on planet Earth, you should be compensated that way. That's basically what they are. They are the best. There's 53-man roster. They are the best at what they do for a living. There's a reason why they're compensated the way they are. And then, after 3 years, they have no income coming in. So that's why they fight for what they're fighting for.
It's also like you don't consider it now, but like, let's say you make $1 million a year. The kind of players we're talking about, the short career is $1 million a year. After taxes, now we're at $700,000 a year. After I pay my agent, probably like $600,000 a year. Oh, and now I've got the overhead of like, I'm a professional athlete, right? So like I have to do more things in order to keep my body up to shape. I have to hire trainers. I got to pay Bobby Stroop, however much money I pay him the entire offseason, and the things that come with it. You might be down to net $200,000-$300,000 a year. And I'm not saying that's not like a ton of money. It is a ton of money. And maybe don't buy the $2 million house on your rookie contract or whatever. And I don't think those guys are doing that, but it's for a lifetime money, it's harder than you think. It's harder than you think. And that doesn't include like, you probably need some financial literacy stuff to keep your friends out of your pockets or any other nonsense that comes with it. But I don't think it's ever quite as much as people make it seem like it is. Like for like they have 3-year careers. It's really tough. It's been their entire life.
Wasting a year in your prime on the sideline instead of playing football, that's a problem.
Yeah. It is.
That's why I don't think.
Because then you might not have a job. Some other young player comes up.
I'm not worried about
a
a strike happening in the NFL. Baseball in 2026, that's a different conversation.
Well, I think baseball's definitely.
I think baseball will be missing games in a couple years.
Unfortunately,
football, I don't believe we will be there.
Did we just recently go through that too?
Yes.
How long ago?
COVID, right after COVID.
Mm-hmm. We didn't get.
It was an actual strike. It wasn't COVID
related,
related,
but
it was like the year after COVID, I think.
Okay. Yeah, it was.
Remember having Whit Merrifield on the show talking a lot about it.
We had planned Cody and Gold opening day. They didn't miss much baseball. We planned Cody and Gold opening day, and baseball ended up starting like a week late. It wasn't crazy. A couple days late. It wasn't late. It did start a little bit late. And they started the year after COVID a little later than planned. Originally, the thought was like maybe they'd be able to get to 100 or 80 games or something, and they only played like 60. So.
All right, up next, thinking of baseball, we'll get right back into that. One thing that might be catching up to a certain Royals player, and somebody lost a lot of money last night, and they live in Kansas. We'll explain next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
You've been thinking about that career change, maybe like to professional golfer like Drew has been considering, but instead you're thinking about a career in IT. Centric can do that for you in as little as 4 months.
Yeah, I think the way Drew's talking, in as little as 4 months, he can get ready to play at Augusta. But I'm talking about a realistic option for you if you just hate what you're doing. Maybe you don't like the pay. Maybe you don't like the conditions or working outside in the wintertime. You're just done with it. In 4 months, while you're still doing that current career, because you still need the income, you can already pave the way for your future. Virtual classes, in-person classes, they offer them both there at Centric.
Cybersecurity has a big opportunity for growth. We see these IT careers have those opportunities you mentioned because maybe it's a dead-end job that you're getting stuck in. Talk to our guy, Russ Mondry. He's been doing it forever over at Centric and can talk you through your new IT career. Find out more at Centric.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
The deals are hot, hot, hot this weekend at Hy-Vee. This Friday through Sunday, for 3 days only, the deals are on fire. Get boneless, skinless chicken breast, $2.99 a pound. 24-pack Hy-Vee water, $1.99. Red Baron frozen pizza, $2.99 each. And Coca-Cola 6-packs, just $3.69. Check out our low everyday prices on thousands of items. Stock up and save big this Friday through Sunday only at Hy-Vee.
There's nothing better than breakfast at the Hy-Vee Market Grill. They have fresh, made-to-order breakfast entrees crafted with the highest quality ingredients, like Hy-Vee's famous biscuits and gravy, sunrise breakfast burrito, the brioche French toast, sweet cream pancakes, omelet skillets, and more, all served with a side of fresh and crispy hash browns. Kids 5 and under always eat free, and they serve 6 to 11 a.m. on Monday through Friday and 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Mornings just got a whole lot brighter with breakfast at Hy-Vee Market Grill.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Do you know a coach who goes above and beyond? The Royals, the CU and the Major Leagues Foundation, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City are recognizing those impactful men and women. Nominate your high school coach at royals.com/coaches with character.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. Here's the best part. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Not happy? They'll come back between visits to make it right. Don't wait. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
By now, you know the signs. You've been feeling tired. The workouts maybe haven't been going as well, or maybe just gained a little weight. All of these things can be a sign of low testosterone. What I keep telling you is don't wait and find out. You can go to the Low T Center. They'll check your levels, simple test, on-site lab, and not your typical doctor's office. Their physicians specialize in treating low T with testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, for each individual patient. So you've been having those questions and you're not sure? Low T Center can get those answers for you. With over a decade of experience helping patients, which is important, those optimized plans for each individual patient will have you feeling back to the way you did before. For current patients, the Low T Centers offers you a $150 referral credit for each new patient that you refer. And at the Low T Center, you can get your health evaluated for treatment of GLP-1 weight loss medication. So get back to your best. Go to lowtcenter.com, book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Clog drain? Our experts clear tough clogs fast and include a free camera inspection, so you have confidence that your pipes are flowing freely. Unclog your drain for just $74. Schedule today at anthonyphce.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
So last night, I saw a social media account for Caesars Sportsbook tweet out, a bettor in Kansas wagered $25,000. So someone in Kansas on the Caesars Sportsbook app wagered $25,000 on the Dodgers money line. So for those who don't bet, that means just the Dodgers to win outright. They were minus 190 versus the Nationals. 25 grand would have paid out $38,157.90. So somebody amongst us bet $25K on the Caesars app last night. By the fifth inning, was 8-0 Nationals. The Dodgers lost 8-2. The Dodgers have lost 4 out of 5, by the way. That bettor just lost $25K. I hope that person, if you're betting $25K, I hope you are extremely wealthy.
Yeah, or call. Yeah, it's bets off. It's bets off, or yeah, you are.
You're Chiefsaholic 2.0, and you're robbing banks.
You're getting ready to drive down to Bixby to make sure you can make your next wager.
Because that's anytime I see, like, they always tweet out, but that one was in Kansas. And there's not a Caesars Sportsbook retail location, physical location. So that is on the app. Somebody went on their phone or their computer, I guess, and dropped $25K on the Dodgers at minus 190, by the way.
Ooh, God, he wasn't even getting good.
And they got their ass kicked.
I mean, they got smoked.
It was over by the fifth inning. I don't know. The Dodgers lost 4 out of 5. They're human. After all.
Wow. They do bleed, huh? After all that? After that, 8-0, 9-0 start or whatever the hell it was?
Mm-hmm. I don't remember who pitched yesterday for the
I just didn't know. If
all I know is James Wood is one of many very talented young players on the Nationals roster. Hit a pretty impressive home run last night.
Well, that'll do it. That'll absolutely do it. No, I just again, you got the money to burn, then if that's what it makes you feel alive, but you better have it to burn. If you're betting $25,000 on one, you know what could happen in a baseball game? It could be the team's ace versus that. This is the risk you want to take?
For me. Out of all bets to make it $25K money line base, 162 game season. The one of the best teams in baseball all year. You can go 100. You can get 100 wins. You're still losing 62 of them. That's the issue with doing a money line bet like that on a baseball game. To what you were saying, Cody, you could be 100 win team. Best team in your league.
You're still losing 60 times.
Correct.
Yeah. You're still losing a huge chunk of the time.
Anyway, saw that. It's just crazy. I jokingly tweeted last night, which one of our listeners did that? Which one of you did it? Which one of you? Come forward, please.
And are you a bank robber or just
loaded?
Flush, can we come to your pool house or whatever? I'm sure your mini houses.
Please join us for our Cody Gold garage sale later this summer.
Yeah.
And bid on items.
Probably that the guy who kept buying all the stuff for the Royals broadcast won all those years.
Yes.
Drive up some of those bids, really help us out. It's for charity.
That's right.
It's for the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum,
That's right. Man, oh man. So anyway, I saw that while I was getting ready for the Royals game last night. And yesterday he wasn't in the lineup, although he ended up playing. I'm talking about Hunter Renfroe because Canna unfortunately hit the wall pretty hard there in left field, so they made a defensive adjustment later in the game. But Hunter Renfroe, it's one thing at the plate, and I still think at the plate he will at least get to a somewhat of a respectable level here because that's just who he's been throughout his career. I don't think he's going to hit like this all year. I know a lot of Royals fans are ready to move on, but hey, they're 11 games into the season. They're not DFAing anybody 11 games into the season. That would be a silly, silly decision for any organization to make.
Nobody really operates.
But I will say this: what has concerned me the most is the defense. What happened? What's that? It's one thing. If you're going to not hit right now, where's the defense gone? What's going on there? The arm doesn't look the same. Some of the paths that you're taking to get to the baseball in right field don't look the same. What's going on?
So I am not as confident as you are about the bat. I think what happened here is Father Time met up with old Hunter Renfroe in the offseason and took a baseball bat to his entire body, apparently, and he might just be aged out of the league. I hope that that's not the case. I hope for Hunter Renfroe's case that he does, and for the team's case, I hope he finds it here pretty soon. But if you watch him in the outfield right now, he does not look like a player who is moving the way I am accustomed to watching him move in his major league career. He has 5 hits. He's hit for no power. He's playing bad outfield. And he had an okay spring training, so you'd have been like, well, he looked pretty normal in spring training. What happened? I think Father Time. I think it just caught up, man. He is not a career, if you're remembering Hunter Renfroe's career and you're trying to make it something it wasn't, then you're going to run into trouble, right? He was always a career 240 hitter, 300 on base guy who had some pop. He hit for 20 or 30 home runs. So he was never a world beating player. He wasn't a perennial all-star. He's never been an all-star. So I wasn't pretending like Renfroe was something he wasn't. But when you're a player like that and then you get to be 33 years old, I think time might have just caught up on him.
It's
tell
weird,
me
though.
what it is if it's not that. He's just off to a really bad start.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer for what's caused it. All I know is during spring we heard not even the joking best shape in their life thing. Remember we had Vernon Renfroe had lost 15 pounds or something, 15, 20 pounds had lost during prior to spring training in the offseason. So maybe he was actually in the best shape of his life and all this kind of stuff. It's 11 games in. The defensive stuff scares me even more because I still think I don't think he just randomly fell off a cliff where he just can't hit the baseball anymore. I really don't believe that, and I know fans do, but I don't. But the defense is what is making me think something else is going on. It's really bizarre right now.
I went back through and looked at some stages in his career, and he had years like this, right? He's 27 years old in San Diego, and he hit 216 with a 289 on base. That year, though, he hit 33 home runs, so, he still had some other part. And again, he's always been at least a decent outfielder. That is the part that makes me think the aging more than the hitting, and that it's going to affect both. Because I watched him in the outfield last year, and I didn't think, look at that massive liability out there. The way he's playing right now, it's hey, man, if you're not going to hit, Like if it's going to take a little while for the bat to come around, okay, I'm patient. I can take my time. It's okay, whatever. Well, then you can't be a defensive liability. I can't be thinking it's a better idea to put non-outfielders out there or be, taking away a bat altogether and putting Tyler Tolbert or some of these other options or like moving things around and it's Mike Kellen center and Isbell and right and all these other things. Like I don't have to be thinking about things that deep into it. You got to be doing one thing well enough in order to stay in the lineup every day.
Yeah, from the text line. If we only had a young rock star that we could bring up to put in right field. Yeah, if they only had that young rock star that's played in right field, then I would be with you. He hasn't even played a single game in right field yet, and he's played.
Ever? He played in college, or he said in high school. I don't remember. What
I'm talking about the professional level.
Yeah. It was mine in high school.
So and Jack Caglione hit another home run last night, and he's awfully impressive. We were going to talk about him actually here in a little bit because we asked JJ. For those that saying they have someone that could play right field, they don't actually. They don't.
Gentry.
Meaning Caglione. They're talking about Caglione. When everybody texts in, they're talking about Caglione. They're not talking about Tyler Gentry. They're talking about Drew Waters. That, by the way, is who they are likely. Nick Gordon was the kid they traded for from Baltimore. But acting like they have somebody in Double-A that could just jump in and play right, that is just factually inaccurate right now. Can we please pause a little bit on that? That drives me crazy. We're 11 games into the baseball season, and we have people already saying, well, he could play better right field. He actually has never played right field, so how can you even say that? Caglione is probably going to be a stud. I cannot wait. Hell, spoiler, we might be taking a road trip to go watch him play as a station and as a show with you guys, spoiler, in a couple of weeks. So it's not we're not excited, but can we please stop acting like they have somebody that has all this experience in right field that's just going to come up here and rake immediately when he's played in 4-5 minor league baseball games at the Double-A level so far this year and has not played a single one in right field?
We're definitely going to talk some Jack today. I definitely get your frustration over it because it's like, and again, this is Renfroe gets a month. I looked it up. I mean, Renfroe's played rough enough this year that I was like, just as a quick reminder in case it keeps going south. And again, I hope it doesn't. I hope Renfroe finds his bat today and starts playing some better in the outfield and Father Time doesn't look like it's won the war. But did I look up this weekend? Did I look up what date they cut Omar Infante? Yeah. Did I look up what date they cut Hunter Dozier? Yeah. Did they have an additional year on those contracts after the year they cut him versus what they would have to do with Renfroe? They sure did. And by the end of May, Dozier was gone. And by the middle of June, Omar Infante was gone. So there's time. Renfroe has time to sort this out. All I'm saying is it looks like, to me, it just looks like a player who got old in a hurry. And it's only, 11 games now for the Royals. So I don't want to just say that that's the end-all, be-all, and there's no movement outside of it. But at least that's the case. All right, we teased it. We were going to get to it. So before we give our official projections for the Masters and who we like to win and some of the stuff we can get into, we can get into some long shots or some of the bets we like. Maybe outside of that, like top 10 and top 20 a little bit later on in the show. Drew, you went back and forth with a lot of people on the text line about your ability
I had
to
time
shoot
today, boys.
To shoot 100. This isn't even meant to, I think sometimes you think this is like attack on you. I would say this to any golfer who's a 7 or 8 handicap.
Yeah.
I think you are grossly underestimating the thinness quality of some of those tee shots and how many putts it will take you to put the ball in the cup.
No, I totally understand the difficulty of
the shots you're going to lose on out of bounds. I don't think you're considering.
If you give me a month, I don't expect to hit a ball out of bounds in terms of I can get the shot shape down where I know, okay, this is how I need to play each individual hole.
But pro golf, guys on the tour, even though they're going to play this week, are going to hit a ball out of bounds still. It'll still happen. They're not trying to, but it still happens.
No, I understand that. I think that there's also club limitation of, hey, this club might spray a little bit wider. I'm not going to take this club. I'm going to take an L, hit a shorter tee shot, and we're going to play for an up and down par. And if I double and if I 2-putt and it's a bogey, or if I 3-putt, dare I say, and it's a double bogey, again, I can double bogey 9 holes and I can bogey 9 holes, not get a single par and shoot 99. That's a 99.
I think that's the best case scenario, and I don't think you're going in there and shooting best case scenario. I think that's as good as I could humanly.
Scenario is like an 85, but that's not happening.
I think that's I honestly think that is Like
I'm not underestimating. I know how difficult it's going to be. I get that. But the entirety of everything, if you play your shots correctly, it all comes down to, okay, how do you navigate the greens? Are you used to the 12 on the stint? What, are all of those things that go into it, which is the same way that all of golf is. It's 75%, if not more, around the greens. It always comes back to that.
But so when you mentioned like the bogey and double bogey, are you considering the hole that is absolutely going to happen? And I think we have to agree on this, that you're in the bunker and it takes you like 11 to get it in the hole. That you're like in the bunker and you overshoot the green and then you're off the green again and then you 4-putt and it took you 3 shots to get in. Or are you just thinking that hole never exists for you at Augusta?
No, but I also think 150 yards into 12, I feel comfortable hitting a 150-yard 9-iron shot approaching
came up as Raul, but Adalberto Mondesi, and he got rushed to the big leagues, and it went horribly. He was never ready for the big leagues. He was not successful in AA. He was not successful enough in AAA. And because of his talent, they just said, screw it. He can be a big league player. They put him on a World Series roster, gave him a bat in the World Series, the whole thing. And I just don't understand. I'm not in a hurry because if they're going to be a playoff team and fight as a playoff team this entire year, if they still need the bat later, they can get it. If they were going to trade, like the thing I love the most about it, let's just say they decide they need an outfield bat, Gold with power. Not uncommon for a trade deadline acquisition. And I don't want to give up any more prospects. I want them to continue to develop people in the minor league system. I don't want them to give up Blake Mitchell or Carter Jensen or Kuduna or any of the other guys who are in the top 10 of the system. Great. Then call up Jack. Save the draft picks, save the trouble, and get your guy. If it's that, then we're having a different conversation. But right now, I don't need to see him. The guy hit the homer off, by the way. His name's Cole, like Cole's the store. Kohl.
Okay. All right. Is he related? Is that his first name?
Cole, that's his first name.
First name.
Cole Drake.
Is he from Wisconsin?
I will say he is a lefty.
Okay.
So, like, that's always, lefty. I always feel like that's a little more impressive. But, why do they name him Cole? It's fine. Why do they name him Cole and spell it like the store?
What's wrong with
There's
Cole?
nothing wrong with the name Cole, like Reagan's, when it's spelled like the store Cole.
They wanted
That's why I asked. Is he from Wisconsin?
They wanted it to be unique. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good
Because there's some people whose, I think it was it Andrew Jones? ANDRUW.
That one's not
Jones.
as offensive. That's just one letter different. That's not like...
But Drew DRUW, it just looks weird. I think
Cole Drake is the 13th ranked prospect in the Texas Rangers system.
So that's who you hit the home run
He's a
off
6'5", 220-pound lefty.
Yeah. A lot of people take an issue with your Mondesi comp, and I get it a little bit because Mondesi
Why? He got rushed up to the bench.
injuries
He was no good.
failed him.
But he wasn't a good big league player when unfortunately, he wasn't.
Injuries failed him.
But he wasn't a good enough player when he played.
At times, there were dude.
He showed some flashes, but
not that it matters. We all have, but like you thought he was an MVP candidate one year.
I was dead wrong.
So, but meaning like a lot of it was injuries. What derailed his entire career?
Sure, but I would just say like once he got up to the big leagues, the rest of the numbers did not equate. Sure. Right? He didn't hit for a high enough average, he was a great defensive player. So I'd never, I guess, argue that. I think he played a really, really good, and he led the league in triples, I think, one year. So the speed and the athleticism and all the stuff that existed. But they rushed him to the big leagues.
Yeah, and again, we keep getting
he
texts.
had one good year when he was like 22, probably.
Keep getting texts about like he'd be Renfroe. Again, if eventually they end up replacing Renfroe, the first person that's going to replace him is going to either be like a Nick Gordon, a Drew Waters, a Tyler Gentry.
Yeah,
it's not going to be the guy that's gotten 4 games in AA. That's all.
They've been a fun 4 games, though.
They have. It's been awesome. And again, we're hoping to do something pretty special around that here very soon. We might be able to announce something on Friday.
As you guys remember, we went down to go watch Bobby Wood Jr. play in Fayetteville. Maybe we can work out
That's
something
right.
similar.
We've been working on this for a couple weeks.
I did not regret going down to see Bobby Wood Jr. play, although he did go over for the day we went down there.
That's right, yeah.
Hitless. Hitless.
That's true.
Turns out it didn't affect the rest of his career. A player can go hitless. Like, for instance, Jack Caglione can go hitless today, and it's fine.
No, he never will, actually. He never will go hitless, Cody.
No?
Never.
He's just going to...
Never in AA, he won't.
Didn't he go 0-for-5 in his second game this year? I think he did.
I don't know. I have no idea, man. And yes, I do want to see him play some right field in AA eventually, but they haven't even started that yet, which should also give you a little bit of an indication of how patient they're going to be. That's all.
I mean, yeah. And I get the same thing everyone else said. Like, JJ, that clip we played, was when he had just hit 400. He seemed so unsurprised by it when he just hit 1. I get it. Listen to the sound. That's a violent sound for a bat to make.
Yeah, that's insane. Just destroyed a baseball.
miles per hour off the bat at 468 feet. 2 days after he hit a different one, 463 or 5 or whatever it was feet.
Coming up in 7 minutes, we'll get to the trash of the day. What we mentioned, we're talking some draft as we're almost 2 weeks out now from the NFL draft. And if you follow some of our social media channels, you see we were asked our draft crushes that could go to the Chiefs in the... I thought it was the first round. Some people on the video gave like 3rd round picks, but I thought it was a 1st round draft crush. Who is that for you guys?
Okay, so you already know Derek Harmon's on my list. That is an announced draft crush. So I wanted to give a different answer today as I start finalizing my list. I'm up to about 4 or 5 now of players I would really like to see in a Chiefs uniform. I think we'll get to running backs maybe later on. Not today, but maybe later on in the week. This one might be a bit of a surprise. I've been giving defensive lineman answers, and then my answer to this point has been Derek Harmon. Loveland, the tight end. Because
You're in love with Loveland.
I'm in love with Loveland. He's my guy. And here's the part of it that's going to surprise you. In doing some research on the player, and I really did. I tried to look into it a little bit. I'm not claiming I watched all X's and O's or whatever. And in somebody else who I think evaluates talent well, Mina Kimes' opinion, she seems I actually think Colson Loveland's going to be just as good as Ty Warren in the league. And you can get him 15 picks later, 20 picks later. I think he's as good as Warren. I think he will be just as good in the league as him. And if I know that, and at the end of the first round, some people have Loveland in the middle of the second round, so I could be a trade back candidate. That's a player I've fallen in love with. I don't think necessarily it's a draft crush. It's not even one that I think is as realistic for the Chiefs because I'm not sure you can give up the value of the pick it would take in order to get him in Kansas City to do it. But it's like a position where I'd go off board or off list for where the positions are of a stronger need because I like the player so much. I'd be interested in having him in Kansas City. I think he's good as Ty Warren, and I think he's 20 picks later. So tight end,
interesting.
Colson Loveland. Now, so far,
good
Derek Harmon
as
and Loveland are my
good
two
as
guys.
Tyler Warren.
Right there. It's a take.
For me, this is a position that we've talked a ton about, defensive line, edge rusher. I don't know if he'll be available here. At one point, before this college football season started, some people thought this guy was going to be a top 10 pick. That is not the case anymore. But James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee, edge rusher, top 2 in the country in pressure rate last season.
I thought I saw he was number 1. Was he just 2?
I think it was.
Okay, I thought I saw first, but no, go ahead.
Even better, but I thought it was top 2. But either way, same thing,
Same
right?
concept.
Same logic with it. James Pierce Jr., we know there's a short-term and a long-term need at that position. You get somebody that can come in right away and get after the quarterback. There's a little bit some off the field stuff people were questioning at one point
Apparently,
in time.
he might be off people's boards.
I know.
In some, he might not.
Why? You said
Some character concerns.
Chiefs love that.
I don't know if they love it, but they don't. Yeah,
they don't shy away from it.
It's weird.
They're not afraid of it.
James Pierce Jr. though, I just think from a come in right away and be effective at getting after the quarterback. I think the fact that this was a guy that 5 months ago, people thought maybe could have been a top 10 pick, and now he might be on the board at 31 or later. Yeah, James Pierce Jr.
It's weird because when you Google his character, when you Google off the field issues, there's nothing really that comes up at all. It's just apparently there are severe character concerns, but there's nothing that has been reported, at least, hey, he had trouble with this or he had trouble with that. It was a tough locker. There was nothing that came out.
Yeah, nothing has come to light
officially. Yeah, which is kind of weird.
But he has fallen. He has fallen.
Oh yeah, he definitely has.
So it's not even public what the character concerns are.
No,
it's just behind closed doors.
I wonder if there's just smoke screen stuff. The rumor, the thought was he didn't handle, I guess, an encounter with police well when he was 19 years old. I don't know.
Let him fall if you love him, right? I mean,
it is interesting because
not great that he did handle this stuff.
Because there's two edge
slides out of the Chiefs. Great.
There's 2 edge rushers that have the character questions. It's James Pierce Jr. and then Mike Green from Marshall. Also, apparently early on when he was in college, had a big problem. But mine's going to be Walter Nolan. I feel it
That's
fits
the other guy that people mention a lot.
Him to go with Chris Jones and pair up with him. I think he already all by himself could be really good, but he learns from Chris Jones and continues to get better. I mean, he could be the heir apparent where as soon as Chris Jones is gone, slide Walter Nolan is the expected guy to take over essentially what he did. Not necessarily to that level, but in terms of sack production from the defensive tackle spot, I think Walter Nolan is a guy that would really fit well and could also, just learn a lot in general and reach his full potential with the Chiefs.
Sorry, responding to an email, somebody was saying,
yeah, you're good.
Would love to chat about getting Drew in the Monday
qualifier.
Yeah,
this might happen. Are you ready? You better start. You better get out to the course.
Ready.
You're going to the course tomorrow anyway. We found out Drew's working on the apartment and he wants to golf, which is cool.
I am not ready to
golf
in a qualifier on Monday. I'm not mentally ready for that either. I
know, but get mentally ready because if this guy will put you in, you're playing.
You got one shot. You got one. If somebody,
I'm not doing it now.
If somebody in
no
matter what field you're in, if somebody said you have an opportunity to go at the highest level or one of the higher levels of
I'll get it for you, seriously.
And embarrass myself?
Nah, come on, dude. It's for radio.
You can't tell us you're going to embarrass yourself.
golfer.
You just told us you're going to break 100 at Augusta. You're not going to embarrass yourself
Again,
at Corn Ferry
no,
qualifying.
Again, I said,
And Dusty said you're, quote, a stud on the golf course.
You guys weren't listening to what I was saying because I said with a month's preparation and on my very best day, I would break 100. I'm not saying I would do it right now. If I showed up to Augusta right now, no way.
But you're an 8 handicap right now. I kind of want to see where we are. So if this guy can get us in, I think we're all going on Monday. We'll talk to Spec after the show.
I don't know if the boss is going to let this happen, but I feel like we should just do our show from the qualifier.
No offense, but I don't want you caddying for me, Cody.
Who's going to caddy for you? Who's going to caddy for you?
No, I want to caddy for
myself.
You're just going to self-caddy. Are you allowed to have a caddy?
I don't. I won't. Hey, look,
Or dead serious, I would call my brother and I'd make him fly up from West Palm.
Drew,
if I actually am in the dead serious, if I'm in the event, I'm calling my brother and I'm getting him.
No, like what about the qualifier?
No, if you're in the event, but like let me caddy for the qualifier and I'll make you a couple of deals so that you don't feel less stressed about it. One, I will very rarely recommend a club. I will help you with a
Don't recommend any clubs.
Don't recommend any.
Cody just wants to be in the background, so I don't know what it is.
I'm saying I'll help. Like anybody else, it's always good to have an extra set of eyes on a green. So I will give you an opinion. You don't have to listen to any of it. And I will not, and I promise, I will not pick on you, make fun, nothing. I will be there. I will be there for you. I've got your back. I am there to help you.
I appreciate you.
This will not be in any way like I'm picking on Drew. I'm going to try to help you do your best on the course.
I appreciate. The main reason that I say that though is that
I don't want you carrying your own bag. I want you to keep your energy.
Thank you. The main reason that I say this though is I'm not. You guys haven't seen me when I'm like if I ever play in a tournament, I'm very laser focused. I don't talk. Like I might not say a single word to you.
That's fine.
The entire round.
That's
like,
going to be tough for Cody.
I literally might not say a single word because I'm locked in. You're going to have earbuds in us.
It's cool. I will. Whatever you need, Drew.
It'll be okay.
You need the caddy who's quiet because you need to be focused. I'll be the caddy who's quiet.
Can I just be on?
I'm egregiously.
Can I just be on my phone live streaming on Twitter?
Yes.
And just be way off in the distance, but still following you and just whisper.
I think you keep your phone with a battery charge. And you do play-by-play. That's how we do it.
He's in the right bunker.
That's absolutely how we do it. Oh, man, I can't
Looks
wait.
to be laser focused.
I'm going to place a call at 2 o'clock. We'll have an answer for you all
that's
tomorrow.
a long ways away.
Drew just threw his club in the air. Wow.
Thank God I'm.
Must have just realized.
That's a tough miss.
Thank God I am not the throw the club person. I'm very happy.
I'll
that
get
I'm
on the
not that
live stream with
individual.
Gold and give a report after the 9.
You're going to leave me alone on the
front
course.
9. I said a front 9 after the 9 when you're at the turn.
If you leave me to go do a video, I think I will carry my bag the rest of the way.
Okay. I won't leave you to do a video, I promise.
Caddy going to leave to do an
Spec
interview.
is texting. He says you guys can have the day off.
Hey!
We can get Gold in the tournament.
Drew
in the tournament.
All right.
So, all right.
Let's get to the trash of the day.
Oh, my gosh. This is the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
This takes us to some minor league baseball. No, not Northwest Arkansas. This doesn't have anything to do with Jack Caglione. This is trash of the day. The Jupiter Hammerheads, is that right? Down in Jupiter, Florida, I believe they're the Marlins AA affiliate. Is it AA or AAA affiliate?
Single
I mean, the Marlins
Single
might be a AAA team in their own right, so I don't know what this makes the minor league club. But
Single A.
Single, this is A ball.
They don't even do low and high A anymore. It's just A ball.
Okay, this is A ball. There were 22 walks in a minor league game.
Excuse me?
And the announcer, who sounds like a kid that's just getting his first opportunity, trying to take advantage of it, and he might be in a little bit of hot water. Listen to the play-by-play call of the 22 walks.
This is only my 5th season. I've been in baseball, a little under a decade because of my college days.
College. Okay.
I've never written so many RBI walks in a book before. Listen, I know that I'm supposed to be optimistic about our team here, but, I mean, come on, guys. Like, I could go out there. Let me loosen up my shoulder. I'll go help things out because you got to put it over the plate. You got to give your defense a shot. You have not been given a shot all game. We're broadcasting for maybe 2 people right now. That's for sure.
Hey, these two people are thoroughly mentioned and entertained right now.
Next pitch, misses outside ball 4. Well, why not? 21 walks today. The payoff pitch from Reyes. Outside ball 4. So there's the 3rd walk of the inning, the 22nd walk of the game, and that'll load the bases for Manuel Beltre.
This has been a night. I can't say it's been any. It's just been a night.
It's one of the nights of all time. That's for sure.
It's a historical night.
It's one of the nights of all time.
Yes.
This is a night in history. Meaning, I hope it never comes back.
I hope this guy doesn't lose his job for just destroying the team that he is calling the games for.
They want 22 people. He should be allowed to destroy them, right?
I mean, not in the way in which he was doing it. That's the problem. He said he could go out there. He said he can go out there and do better.
I mean,
in the
is he
full
wrong?
audio.
Look, I'm not a professional pitcher. I'm pretty sure that if you made me pitch 9 innings, I wouldn't walk 22. Like, maybe I'm just serving up meatballs and they just keep crushing it over the fence. But, like, walking 22 at some point is egregious.
Of course
Don't
it's
throw
egregious.
a second pitch. Just throw a fastball.
Of course
down the
it's
middle.
of
And I'm
course
sure there
it's
are pitchers at
of
some point,
course
too,
it's
when they
egregious.
walk
But
22.
if you're the team broadcaster, you cannot be saying, I could get out of there and do better than him. Like, you can't say that as the broadcaster for the baseball team that's paying you. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, he prefaced it by saying, I'm supposed to be positive on the team.
I will
You
say,
know, he tried. He covered his ass a little.
If you want to, a lot of times there's people who start there and then they work their way up.
I think
like a regular player
it
does.
would-
You might have forfeited any shot that you have.
Yeah, it would not surprise me if he ends up getting fired or suspended. Like if you're paid by the team, you can be critical, and yeah, you can't sugarcoat 22 walks, but you can't be up there saying, "Well, I could just do better than these guys at the organization is having to come up through their system." That's a no-go on that one. Someone said that sounded like Logan, our guy Logan Weber, doing the broadcast.
I mean, it
Little
sounded
bit.
like, but it wasn't him. Yeah,
A little bit. I could hear that a little bit. That is the trash of the day.
Oh man, I'd quit.
The random question of the day today is going to be obvious. By the way, it's going to be what can you do that is just as good as big leaguers and professional athletes? We started the day with the Drew making the not making the cut, but breaking 100.
I don't think there's a single thing I could do against a professional. I don't think I could get a
there's,
3 off.
There's
I don't
plenty
think
of people out there that think they can do just as good as professional athletes. Plenty of people.
I'd lose to all of them in every sport. I
People
wouldn't
think they
even
can.
be competitive in any of them.
I agree.
Yep.
There's a video of Alex and I playing basketball together. I don't think I'm getting a shot off
Yeah.
against the worst NBA. I'm not getting a shot off against the worst NBA.
You're
player.
not getting a shot off against Kwame Brown.
I'm not getting a shot off of the worst Division I basketball player. Like, I
don't even know who that would be. There's no way to even mention a name. You can't
it's
even
the
name
bench
drop
guy
anybody.
on like Doug Gottlieb's team. It's the
Green
13th
Bay,
guy.
Wisconsin,
You actually
or-
might be pretty close.
It's the 15th guy on Gottlieb's team. That's probably the worst player in Division I based on record and everything else, right?
How
guy who gets
bad-
0 minutes for Green
they were
Bay?
what, 2 and something, 3 and something?
I don't know.
Isn't
It
that
was
what
bad.
They were really
It was
bad.
bad.
That's my guy. I'm going to need him to be a guard, too. I'm going to need him to not be, like, significantly taller than me. He can't be the guy who gets 0 minutes, but he's also 6'8".
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be a little bit harder for you to.
It'll be real slow.
Up
Borderline can't
next,
move.
let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. One thing is changing atop the odds market for the Chiefs. We'll tell you what the heck's going on there. And one of the final mock drafts from this person before the draft actually takes place. We'll get into that next here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
I keep telling you, spring weather, unfortunately, could bring damage to your roof. Maybe you've been hearing that drip, 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 or maybe you got the hail less than 6 months ago and you were trying to decide if damage got done. Find out with a no-pressure, free estimate from my friends at Century Roofing. Go to centuryroofingkc.com to find out more information, but let me tell you the things you need to know. Voted best in Johnson County 3 years in a row, 35 years experience in the Kansas City area with the warranty they'll stand behind for the life of the roof. They've done over 30,000 roofs in the Kansas City area. That's how you know it's a company you can trust. They've done 2 different repairs to my roof. Did I need a full roof replacement yet? No, not yet. But I had the main part of the roof where when we bought the house, we knew some things needed to get done. I trust Century Roofing to do it then. We had the little bit of damage that happened on the back side of the screen porch roof. I had Century Roof fix it again because I trust them. They'll tell you whether enough damage exists, warrant filing a claim with your insurance company, and with 35 years in the business, you know why you can. If you want to find out more, go to centuryroofingkc.com and tell them that Cody sent you.
The deals are hot, hot, hot this weekend at Hy-Vee. This Friday through Sunday, for 3 days only, the deals are on fire. Get boneless, skinless chicken breast, $2.99 a pound. 24-pack Hy-Vee water, $1.99. Red Baron frozen pizza, $2.99 each. And Coca-Cola 6-packs, just $3.69. Check out our low everyday prices on thousands of items. Stock up and save big this Friday through Sunday only at Hy-Vee.
There's nothing better than breakfast at the Hy-Vee Market Grill. They have fresh, made-to-order breakfast entrees crafted with the highest quality ingredients, like Hy-Vee's famous biscuits and gravy, sunrise breakfast burrito, the brioche French toast, sweet cream pancakes, omelet skillets, and more, all served with a side of fresh and crispy hash browns. Kids 5 and under always eat free, and they serve 6 to 11 a.m. on Monday through Friday and 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Mornings just got a whole lot brighter with breakfast at Hy-Vee Market Grill.
FanDuel is giving new customers an offer unlike any other for the first major at Augusta. Because right now, new customers get $250 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Can Jordan Spieth get that second green jacket? Can Will Zalatoris finally break through in a major? You can bet on all these storylines, plus more, including first-round leaders, top 20s and 30s, 3-balls, tournament matchups, and so much more. Plus, you'll get paid instantly when you bring home a major win this major season. So don't wait. Visit FanDuel.com/Alex to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, and swing for some green at Augusta. FanDuel is an official partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Hello, Kansas. Looks like we're in for another heat wave this season with a forecasted high of up to $300,000. That's right. The Kansas Lottery is bringing the heat with the Hot Sevens family of tickets rolling across our state. You could instantly win up to $300,000. Plus, there's even a chance at up to $20,000 in the second chance drawing through Play On. Talk about a scorcher. Don't forget your oven mitts when you head out today. See kslottery.com for details.
Man, are you over 40 and struggling with low energy? Not feeling like yourself? Low T Center's testosterone replacement therapy is the solution. Get started today by visiting one of our conveniently located clinics. Meet a medical provider and get back to feeling your best. This April only, the consultation is free. Treatment is tailor-made just for you and is covered by most major insurance. Get treated at our centers or from home. Why wait? Book your appointment now at lowtcenter.com. That's lowtcenter.com.
When something happens to your car, you might say,
My car!
but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
It's almost Andy Reid. The offseason is a perfect time for a $100 tune-up from Renner Garage Door. Get a free replacement quote today. Call or click rennerdoor.com. Renner forward and back.
RENNER. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
You never know when you walk into the building. This is what's awesome about our job. You never know. Like, we have an idea of what we're talking about, right? We put out a rundown. We know when we walk in the building a general idea of the show. But then there's some days you wake up and never in a million years that I think we'd be talking about if Drew can break 100 at Augusta, which would then lead into potentially getting him in a qualifier for the Corn Ferry Tour here in Kansas City, and us following him around on Monday. And here we are. That's possible. That potentially could happen. So this is why, this is what's great. Every day, no plan at all when it comes to that conversation, yet here we are.
I'll be totally honest. I do think, I'll be honest, if I went by myself on Monday, I think I would play immensely better if you guys were not there. I'm dead serious.
I know, but that's the part of this is adding the Augusta pressure, you know?
Correct.
You'd feel pressure if you went to go play Augusta, even if you played your biggest round, because it's a chance to play Augusta, you know?
Yeah. If you do get in the qualifier, I think you absolutely have to go to the course this weekend and get a practice round in. You've never played there.
We need to see if we can work this in. I've watched the tour videos. They have a course tour YouTube video. I've watched the video.
I've played it a couple of times over the years.
It looks like a very nice course.
It is, yeah.
I'm sure it is.
I will say this, in fairness, I was actually planning to golf there tomorrow. Instead, went to a different course because they don't do a walking rate.
Oh,
I was a little bit
you got to get the
disappointed.
card, huh?
I was a little bit.
The boss even said, he goes, hey, if he needs off Friday to practice, he can. I go, he's already off Thursday.
Oh, Spec gave me the Friday off as well.
He was already off. He was already willing to give you Friday. He was already talking about it.
He's saying, if we can get you. Okay, look, I'm talking to the guy, I think, today at 2 o'clock. I will keep everyone up to date. We'll see what happens.
I'm going to have to talk to my brother about this. He's going to be like, no way.
No, why?
No way. He's going to be shocked.
Right, we'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. Let's talk some Chiefs football, though. It is the Chiefs Red Half Hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon, future Corn Ferry Tour golfer.
If he's qualified
on the show.
He gets to own us for the rest of the time. We can't make these jokes anymore.
Oh, for sure. No doubt. I hope he does.
He plays well.
Either way, it's going to be epic if this happens.
Yeah.
But Kay Adams over on FanDuel Network was going over some of the odds and everything, and they were talking about the shifting in the markets a little bit. And at FanDuel right now, the Ravens to win the AFC are plus 350. The Bills are plus 360. The Chiefs now have the third best odds to win the AFC at 4-1. And then there's a big drop-off before you get to Cincinnati, who's 9.5-1, followed by Houston, 14-1, Chargers, 15-1, along with the Broncos. I told you yesterday that we're going to... These are odds, but conversation-wise, narrative... For whatever reason, everybody just thinks the Chiefs, because they got their ass kicked in the Super Bowl, that they're just not going to be at the same level, despite winning 17 games last year, if you include the 2 postseason wins. And bringing back a decent amount of the roster from last year. The questions still remain on the left side of the offensive line. I'm with you. But why does Buffalo have better odds? What did Buffalo do that...
Nothing changed. The odds used to have the Chiefs as the favorite.
What did Buffalo do?
I don't understand. Nothing. I mean, nothing more than the Chiefs did, right? I mean, they lost some players. They brought a few in. The core of their team is similar. They were unable to get past the Chiefs last year. Their division hasn't gotten any better or worse at the moment. Maybe slightly better with Justin Fields. Maybe slightly worse with Justin Fields. Miami's in no different of a spot. It's still Tua and Tyreek and everyone else. The only thing that could change is a draft pick that maybe swings it in their way. They're picking low in the draft. Nothing's changed, and yet the odds have done it. So I guess the real question I have is, do the 2 big things usually swing the market? Sharp money or public money going in favor of things. Do you guys hate money? Because
I think the narrative, it's what the narrative is.
No matter how many years in a row we've had to have this conversation, you can keep picking against the Chiefs to do it. But this is great news if you're a Kansas City fan. Right now, if you're telling me I want to bet the Chiefs to win the AFC, I'm going to get the third worst odds, not the worst odds. Okay, great. Thanks for bringing the number down for me a little bit. I appreciate it because more often than not, as in 6 of the last 7 years or 5 of the last 7 years.
5 of the last 6, yeah. Or something,
but, 5 of the last 6 and 5 of the last 7 or 8, whatever it is, I get to win that bet, and you're not even giving me the worst odds in order to do it. The Chiefs, I will still make this argument. The Chiefs have improved their roster more than the other two teams have improved their roster, and I mean that on aggregate, not just in the free agent signings or those things. The Chiefs will have Rashee Rice for an entire year, not knowing suspension, but he'll be healthy, presumably.
Maybe. Yeah.
Hollywood Brown missed the entire year, so even if they get him for half a year, it's more than they had. Xavier Worthy in year 2. They're better at left tackle. They are better in way more areas than the Bills and the Ravens, in my opinion.
Right. I still think the public perception is based off of what the narrative is out there right now around the Chiefs. So seeing that the odds now have the Chiefs slipping the third best, that makes sense. If you're not in Kansas City, people think that the Chiefs are done. They think their time as the top of the AFC is over. Now, one day, eventually, the Chiefs have gone
that
to
will be true eventually.
One day. I don't think it's next year. Now, I want to see what they do in the draft and everything like that, but I don't know how you can be so confident, though, that the Chiefs' run is just over. But that we knew that was going to happen after the Super Bowl with the way the result was. That is the lasting image in football fans' minds outside of Kansas City. They forgot that, they won 15 games, won 17, including the postseason. And so people just remember how their offensive line got dominated by the Eagles, and now they think they suck. So that's what'll actually, in a weird way, be fun about next year. If you're looking for motivation and all that, heading into week 1 next year, there will be a lot of people talking and predicting the Chargers or the Broncos to win the AFC West as well. Look, if you want to pick the Bills or Ravens to win the AFC, that's nothing new. People have been picking that for year after year.
But they shouldn't have worse. They should have worse odds than the Chiefs.
I think so, but the odds are, as you said, is sometimes where the money is going. And if the public narrative is that it's Baltimore's time, well, then it makes sense that Baltimore now has the best odds, even if we disagree with them.
I'm just, you know what it is I do think, for whatever reason, the Chiefs lose in the AFC title game this year and don't go to the Super Bowl again for the 6th time in 7 years. The people who come out of the woodworks to be like, See, I told you. You've been saying it for 4 years. You don't get to say, see, I told you, if you've been the person to predict the downfall of the Chiefs year after year after year. I guess the only good news about those ads is that they somehow haven't jumped the Cincinnati into the conversation, and they are deservedly a pretty far step back from the other 3 teams, because they should be, because they were last year and did not improve their roster in any tangible way, like in a big swing way, I guess, if that makes sense. I'm not saying they haven't made roster moves, but they essentially just brought back the same people they had and then said, okay, we'll do better here and we'll draft outside of that. The funny part about Cincinnati is post-draft, they'd be the easiest team to take a swing post-draft because they're picking at a higher spot. Maybe you could be like, ooh, wow, they got a steal at 7. What do they pick, 17, Drew? I don't know if he knows. Wherever they pick, 17, 16, maybe you think, wow, they got a good deal there because the Bills are picking 1 spot ahead of the Chiefs. The Ravens are picking, they're all picking the same spot. 2 spots ahead of the Chiefs, 1 spot ahead of the Chiefs.
They were some of the final teams left, yeah.
Yeah, same boat. Yeah, I wonder whether or not this is public money or sharp money. Like, who is fading? Because was it you and I, Gold, who were talking about this? Before the Super Bowl, like in the AFC title game. Do you remember how much, the sharp money again was all over the Bills and all over the Ravens to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs this last year?
Yeah, but a lot of it was still just the public, with the ref stuff that was going on in narratives, that people got sick of the Chiefs, and so people were saying, screw it. They were betting with their hearts and hoping,
sharp money
hoping
was
that the
Bengals
Chiefs were
Ravens.
losing too. Yeah, it's just that whole thing was more, I think, about people's dislike for the Chiefs and hoping that it was over and believing that the refs were going to screw them over. That's what we said, is if you think the refs are actually favoring Kansas City, well, then why not bet on the Chiefs? Because you think that they're going to win. That was the whole thing during the playoff run before the Super Bowl and everything like that. All right, that is a mock draft sound.
It's not outside.
It's a Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. We already heard this, Drew. We already heard this outside 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, I promise it's not outside.
30 minutes ago, man.
I'm firing it. We're looking at Field Yates called it potential Mel Kiper's final draft.
Ever? He's retiring?
Final mock draft.
Wow, he's hanging it up.
He never
He's
said
out of the
ever.
mock game.
It's weird. He never said ever, and This is the first, and Mel Kiper.
How old is Mel Kiper?
In the actual mock draft,
60?
Mel Kiper never mentions it's his final mock draft.
So
I don't know,
maybe Field answers wrong.
64 years old.
Yeah, Field might know something that we don't, evidently, but Mel Kiper came out with a 2-round mock draft. It's not just a 1-rounder. He is upgrading to 2 rounds. And at pick 31, we've seen this name before. The Kansas City Chiefs select, according to Mel Kiper, Josh Simmons, offensive tackle
Man,
from
he's
the
most popular
Ohio
name.
State University.
Most popular name, if you were to do the mock draft consensus, has been this kid.
And in the description, he says, if Simmons didn't injure his knee in October, we might not be having this conversation because he was projected to be closer to the top 10. He has really good footwork and power, gave up just 1 sack over 19 career starts at left tackle, hadn't given up a single pressure in 6 games this season, or this past season before the injury.
Long term, they still don't have a long term answer at right tackle, I don't think, unless you think it's Wanye after this season.
So a full project.
Jalen Moore is a 1 or 2 year option, could turn into a long term option at left tackle. I guess they could move him to right tackle. So you're going to go Josh Simmons, who's not going to play a lick of snaps in the regular season this year. You're going to have him just sit on. You're just going to have him sit and develop. And then next year, you're going to go in the season with a second year guy with no snaps at left or right tackle, and he's going to be your starting tackle. Ooh, okay.
I mean, I hope it works out. I'm not saying they don't need to take a shot on tackle. It's just
not. But
if you take
it's
it
an
in the
Ohio
first
State player,
round.
so they're going to take a tackle and an Ohio State player. 2 things that they just those are going against 2 trends, I would say.
Well, tackle in general is. I looked up. I think maybe it was Arrowhead Pride who put it out, and the draft value chart, right? So like the number of points we assign to each individual position. Offensive tackle is like the 6th or 7th highest position of total point value they've drafted on the Chiefs. The other ones are the obvious ones, right? They spent a bunch on defensive end and defensive line in general. They've spent a fair amount on wide receiver, and they spent a fair amount on corner. The ones that you would expect that the Chiefs have consistently drafted, because like even on, maybe they haven't spent a bunch on first-round wide receivers. They've spent a bunch of second-round picks, high-value picks, trying to get wide receiver. They don't spend it all on tackle yet. I do think they need to draft a tackle. I'm just not pro doing it in the first round.
Need, though. We said they can take, they can take best player available. And maybe Josh Simmons ends up being that for the Chiefs on their board. We'll find out. I just think still with the way the draft is set up right now, the deepest positions are what? Defensive line and running back. And tackle's actually not deep. And so if they're convinced that this is the last tackle they could draft that actually has a chance to be anything, then I guess there's your argument to take him at 31. Like if you think that the rest of the guys we could draft in the 2nd or 3rd round,
you had to sign more because you needed a safety net in case Simmons wasn't available at 31. They always liked him there, maybe even as high as 25 or 20. Because that's the other part. If I'm taking Josh Simmons, if I'm taking a tackle that I think is going to be a tackle in the NFL, I'm not waiting to 31. Too risky. Way too risky. I'm not getting that guy necessarily there. I got to go up a little bit able to secure kind of the future there.
Who's the tackle that everybody's going to be wrong about in terms of sliding? Because this time last year, everybody thought Kingsley was going to be the 1st-round pick, and he was still available when they came back for the 2nd round.
Was that other Ohio State guy that went
Kingsley,
to like the 4th? Remember DeJuan Jones or
plenty of mocks. Yeah. Out of yes.
He like sank.
Out of Ohio State as well.
Both those guys, people had as 1st-rounders, and they went much later. So who is Simmons that guy that's all of a sudden going to be available at pick 30 in the 2nd round as well?
Maybe because of the injury stuff, because
he missed 10 games last year. His comp, if you guys remember from Lance Zierlein NFL Network, was DJ Humphries.
Which, if you're getting, Pro Bowl DJ Humphries, I don't see any reason not to think that that's not the case or not worth the risk.
The 2nd-round pick for that Mel Kiper has, running back, new name, Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. His reasoning for it basically is Johnson could entirely revitalize the run game, which again, the Chiefs had fewer than 10 yards 33 times, had fewer runs for at least 10 yards. They were the fewest, 33, 10 plus. He thinks that Caleb Johnson potentially could bring a spark to the run game, if you will. Again, we know how the Chiefs don't necessarily. It's weird though. He's at Iowa, so the thing he goes he ran for 1,500 yards and 21 touchdowns. Yeah, because that's all Iowa does. I think that it's hard to evaluate those players where they run the ball a excessive amount of times. Where the numbers look great, but
he was the nation's top running back last year.
Again,
that's how good the draft is. He will be available in the 2nd and 3rd round most likely.
His comp is Tyler Algier, the former BYU running back that's down in Atlanta.
He's more like Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt than he is flashy. Like he isn't Devin Neal. He's not Omarion Hampton. He's more of just a big guy, bruiser, I guess, if you will, at running back.
Here's why I would be surprised
good,
if the Chiefs take him. Here's why. It's one analyst's opinion. This sentence stood out to me, and we know how vital this is in the Chiefs' offense. Quote, his three-down value takes a hit because of his struggles in pass protection. We know you are not getting on the field on third down as a Chiefs running back.
And again, I wouldn't throw very often.
Protect your quarterback as a pass protector.
That's another reason why Travion Henderson makes so much sense, because he was elite in pass protection at Ohio. I know they don't take Ohio State players, but he was freaking good.
The one thing is they don't need him to be a three down back yet.
No,
they're not going to start there. That's going to be somebody else. They're definitely not going to start there.
Is he slow?
I'm not sure what his 40 time was. All I've got is the mock draft up. If you look up his profile, then it should tell you if he even ran it.
Caleb Johnson. 4.57.
Yeah,
Not the speed. Not
20
for
athleticism score at the combine. Running back ranked 27th.
Yeah.
Big dude.
Gross.
Big
second
running
round pass.
Again, his stats look good, but they run the ball.
Talked myself out of him
too much.
Yeah.
He will not be on next week's draft crush list for me. He's officially off of it. I'm not looking for some guy who barely moves. Not interested in that regard.
He's not what the Chiefs need.
The GMs of this show say no, okay?
Yeah, we've decided. Sorry, Brett. If you're listening to the show right now, we are not interested in Joseph. We do not think he provides enough.
Johnson.
Johnson, sorry. I couldn't get his name right. We're not interested in Johnson. He is he's too slow. He's too slow. He sounds like part of it is, why are you taking a guy with that level of athleticism in the second round when this draft is flush? Like, if you want kind of a bigging, bruising back, that guy's available in the 4th, 5th round. You can take 2 backs if you're desperate to try to get that style of back in your system too. I understand they have to take a running back. They don't really have anybody in long term.
If you're nervous about the picks, you probably shouldn't be too nervous based on the mock draft. In fairness to Mel Kiper, he was the 16th most accurate mocker last year.
It's not bad. 16th? That's out of how many? Out of how many?
I don't know, 50.
If it's out of, that's top third.
Not 16th though.
I don't think that's. It depends on if it's out of 18, it's not great. If it's out of 450, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to know out of how many mockers. You know?
I don't know. I don't know for sure.
That depends. That changes the numbers a little bit. I do think the number one, as you mentioned, the number one most common pick is offensive tackle in all the mocks across the board. And I know you said Arrowhead Pride was tracking that, but it's that's pretty consistently been
in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Where did he have Ward going? Sanders. Those are the guys I'm Ward 1. I'm assuming everyone's agreed now. Ward's 1.
Cam Ward, Tennessee. Travis Hunter goes 2 to the Browns. Abdul Carter, the Giants, at 3.
Shador goes to the Saints at 9.
Genty goes to the Raiders at 6. Yeah, Shador to the Saints.
I actually kind of feel like Genty Raiders. When I fill out
Colston Loveland 14th overall, Cody.
Damn, 14th? I've seen him anywhere between 14th and 45th. I got no idea.
You've seen him that low?
He doesn't have my guy James Pierce Jr. going 31. He has him going right to the Eagles right after the Chiefs.
Oh, that would 32. Make you sick, wouldn't it? Because that they would have gotten it right. The second they take a defensive lineman, he's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So you just immediately feel bad about it based on the way they turn him around.
He has Jackson Dart going to the Rams.
In the first round?
No, yeah, 26.
And I kind of feel like the Rams are taking in quarterback now. Right after Sean McVay said, I haven't done much research on quarterbacks.
I did see the quote.
You know what? I'm sure you haven't, Sean. The second he says that, don't you believe him less?
For sure.
You're like,
He also has Luther Burden going to the Patriots at 38.
Actually, really, really good pick.
38. Damn, that would
be a really good pick, though, if you think about the situation. So they brought in Stephon Diggs on a deal. And,
way too much of a deal. They overpaid it.
And their wide receiver room is not great, but so Burden could step in right away. Second-year quarterback and Drake, man, that's an interesting spot for him.
In terms of other division stuff, Quinshon Judkins going to the Broncos at 51.
Okay.
A guy that... So that means the Chiefs would have to deal with Judkins and Genty.
I actually think Genty to the Raiders is maybe the best fit for the Raiders at that pick.
That seems like it is the pick.
Well,
Unless Travis Hunter's there, then it's Genty. It just feels that way.
Part of it is you got to think of it this way. Pete Carroll is 70 years old. Pete Carroll is in a win-now situation. That's why he went for Geno Smith. That's why they made this. He is not about trying to, build a thing up for a couple of years. And if you're trying to win now, Genty is the most logical pick. You do Bowers, you do Genty, You make your wide receivers work and you try to score now and you try to win now. You got Max Crosby on the defensive side. You build around him. But that's the cleanest path to win now is be one of the best running teams in the league with Geno Smith, have Brock Bowers, make them kind of difficult, great athletes. And like, that's why I feel like Genty's going 6. Like right now, my prediction is he's going there unless I start hearing something else rumor-wise, I guess, in the draft stuff as it leads up. Yeah. We have our draft party coming up 2 weeks from Thursday at the Landing in Liberty, where if you make the correct selections and to the correct teams, you can win $965 plus an autographed Chiefs helmet. I'll say right now, I'd put Genty at 6 to the Raiders.
And a meet and greet with a Corn Ferry Tour golfer.
Yeah.
So that could happen as well. We might have a little station set up. Drew might be signing autographs by the time this thing happens, too.
You know, a guy who attempted to qualify for the Corn Ferry Tour. He will be available for autographs.
I'll be handling Drew's marketing efforts.
Nice. Yeah, you handle marketing.
You can caddy. I'll handle marketing efforts.
I'm going to carry his bag. I'll dress. Do you want to match colors? Sometimes caddy and golfer do that.
Are you going to go bright orange, like Cincinnati, bright orange as the polo?
Do you want to color coordinate? I think we should probably color coordinate. I'll put my name on your back. But like I just need to know if you want
his name on your back.
Yeah, sorry. I'll put Nixon on the back.
It'd be funny if Cody had one that just said tap. Dude, you're a caddy. You don't get a name.
My brother actually has a placard that says tap from a Masters thing because his kid was a Masters. His kid was like a Masters caddy.
It would be hilarious if you,
for Halloween,
as part of the bit, if after every single shot that I hit, you go road to the Masters.
Road to the Masters.
It's the road to the
Long
Masters.
journey, but we start here. We start here. Corn Ferry Tour qualifier.
Do you want to color coordinate?
I don't care. How about this? I have so many polos. You just give me a color that you want to wear, and then I'll.
Perfect.
And pants wise, I've got beige pants. I've got tan. I've got burgundy. I've got gray.
You're gonna keep your energy up. I'm gonna carry that. I don't know what kind of. You're gonna have to put the clubs in the bag you want. I'm not choosing.
You should wear shorts, by the way. Do not wear pants because it's gonna be hot on Monday. I think, or it's gonna be warmer. I'll be wearing pants.
Okay. That's the professional in you. I'll wear shorts. I'll stay comfortable.
Your calves are going to be getting a workout. Are you sure
Monday 67, Drew. You better get.
Oh, nice.
Your caddy.
Super Bowl.
By the way, your caddy admits he doesn't check the weather. That's not a good sign for you. You're on.
No,
you better make sure you got the weather.
Hold on,
figured
this
out.
is my first caddy job. I will. Mm-hmm. I am not kidding. If this thing happens, when we go out on Monday. Sunday, I'll be on the course. I'm gonna walk the whole thing, but we're gonna take some shots. I'm gonna try to get a sense of where the course is. I'm going to ask some people playing.
Since the boss has agreed to give us the day off Monday, if you get into this qualifier, I know you're going to be locked in, but you're going to have to provide us with some live access on social media. So every couple holes, you're going to have to agree to give us some comments. I know you want to be locked in, but you have to deal with it.
It doesn't have to be like we don't have to overkill it, but you do have to give the media some access. Professional golfers don't necessarily have to do that. Rory was just talking about that.
That's right.
Yeah, it'll be like when they. Every now and then they have to give some access. They pop in the AirPod, of course.
It's not the same, right? Like they don't have to.
I know. I'm going to feel obligated as I'm 4 over par or whatever, while the other guys are 9 under, are about to win the tournament. Like, everything's going great.
I can't wait. I can't wait I want to meet the person who you paired up with. We got to ask him ahead of time.
Poor guy.
We got to ask him ahead of time if he's willing to give us a little interview access as well. We'll get him on the show after.
Hell no.
Can he come in for the fan club on Friday?
We're not bugging that guy during his round.
We are not bothering the other individuals.
Could we ask him if the following Friday he'll come in for the fan club?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think
if he's in town.
Well, yeah.
Correct.
Fine.
That's a very good point.
I mean, a lot of them will be local. It's a qualifier. All right,
it's a very good point.
Up next, let's get to what's trending, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the best thing from last night's Royals game and who is already in midseason form.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
I'm not worried about carrying the bag for Drew. That's because I'm down 30 pounds thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. Weigh-in day, which means the end of the program for me. Doesn't mean I don't receive free support for life. I get that for the life of the program now that I've worked through and lost the 30 pounds thanks to Awaken 180. If you're asking questions, you want to find out how it worked, I did it in 6 weeks. You want to find out more? Shoot me a DM. They'll tell you too. Awaken180weightloss.com. Give them a call, 844-346-1800. It was no medications at all. No extra gym time, no calorie counting. They help you get a plan. You put the plan together, and then you lose weight. It was like 29 pounds in 6 weeks with a weight loss goal of 30 pounds. Now I got to go into maintenance mode and keep that weight off. Look, it can naturally increase your testosterone, lower your blood pressure. Maybe you've been having some health stuff. For me, part of it was the superbone in my foot. I want to be able to walk the course with Drew and have a chance to not make it feel like my foot's going to fall off. I haven't had a single flare-up since I got the weight down thanks to Awaken 180. Find out more, 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Honey, it's me, your wife. Spring is here, and our house desperately needs the experts at Powell Exteriors Casey for siding, windows, entry doors, beautiful decks, patio covers, roofs, and more. Get ready for summer at powellcasey.com.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
FanDuel is giving new customers an offer unlike any other for the first of major at Augusta. Because right now, new customers can get $250 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. This is the most exciting golf tournament of the year. Can Jordan Spieth get his second green jacket? Who is going to break through this year? Who's going to be the surprise player that sneaks out of nowhere and is on the leaderboard on Sunday? You can bet on all of these storylines, plus first round leader, top 20, top 30, 3-ball, tournament matchups, and so much more. Plus, you'll get paid instantly when you bring home a major win in this major season. Visit FanDuel.com/KFNZ to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, and swing for the green at Augusta. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued. Non-withdrawable bonus bet. Retire 7 days and receipt returns apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas. Under agreement, Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Get them with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit KSGamblingHelp.com. The other place, Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton have lots of big screens, great food, and beer specials. Plus, patio season is coming up soon. The Other Place is your home for baseball this spring. The Other Place and theotherplace.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Get 5 quarts of O'Reilly Full Synthetic Motor Oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $29.99. In-store only. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get 5 quarts of O'Reilly Full Synthetic Motor Oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $29.99. In-store only. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. You know, we got the fight for the green jacket at Augusta National this week. The top golfers in the world all vying for that green jacket have to be playing at their very, very best. You also have to perform at your best in the bedroom. What if there was something that could help with that? I'm talking about Blue Chew. Your partner wants you to do whatever it takes to make your sex life better, and Blue Chew is your secret weapon for the bedroom or wherever you decide to get it on. Turn oh no into oh yes with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is an online prescription service. There's no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy, and it ships right to your door in a discreet package. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription, and if you don't like swallowing pills, it's no problem, because Blue Chew's tablets are chewable. Free sounds great, doesn't it? If you want a great offer, go to BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use our promo code KFNZ at checkout. You just pay $5 in shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code KFNZ to get your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
Tonight, expect a low of 53 with mostly cloudy skies.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Join us for the Fans Draft Party on Thursday, April 24th from the Landing in Liberty. We'll be broadcasting live. Plus, your chance to win $965 and an autographed Chiefs helmet in our draft contest. KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
What's trending here on Cody and Gold is presented by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any other university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu. Well, the Royals got the 2-1 win yesterday. 11 strikeouts from Cole Reagans. We're going to talk more about him after what's trending, but the Royals have won 3 in a row. They're above 500. They're back at it tonight at Kauffman Stadium. Of course, the game right here on your home for the Royals, 96.5 The Fan. Seth Lugo gets the nod. 6:40 first pitch this evening. Vern's on Deck show at 5:30.
We'll tell you more about the dates on them. We've got the qualifying date wrong on Drew's thing. We'll tell you more in a minute.
Yeah.
As we continue to monitor that. Next up on What's Trending, Xavier Worthy and ex-fiance make agreement to both drop cases against each other. That report, according to TMZ, they reached agreement where the two deals struck to drop their lawsuits filed against each other's next month. In exchange, Jones is also pulling her application for permanent protective order. She'd been seeking against Worthy back. She said, quote, in a statement, I also acknowledge that my legal representation may have made public statements about my ex-fiancé that were intended to protect me, but were misstated. I regret any misunderstandings or conflicts that arose during my relationship with ex-fiancé. So, nothing's going to come of this. I would consider this matter officially closed.
I think so.
If you're curious what that means. I don't think anything's going to happen with the NFL. I don't think anything's going to happen legally. I think this thing's put to bed.
Elsewhere in what's trending, the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship on Monday night. We got some TV numbers in for that. Averaged 18.1 million viewers on CBS. That's the most watched national title game for the men's side since 2019. So that's not that we're TV executives and should care, but it tells you where the interest was despite not having the upsets heading into it. The Final Four, at least, did deliver from a television rating perspective.
That's always good. I mean, again, it was a close game, so I'm not surprised more people tuned in, especially as the game went on. Next up in What's Trending, speaking of college basketball, JT Toppin announced today that he'll be heading back to Texas Tech for another year for the Red Raiders. Obviously, one of the nation's top players last year. Came up a little bit short, their team, in the NCAA tournament this year. They'll probably be one of the other 10 or 15 biggest favorites to win the national title again, I guess.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say. That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold. We did get some clarification on some stuff. Then we'll get into the Cole Reagans, I promise, in a second. But we found out the qualifying. Drew, you've got a month actually now to get ready.
We thought it
qualifying
was Monday.
is Monday, May 12th.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay. You got a full month?
You've got a month to get the swing right, to get the back and body feeling good. You got some course knowledge you can get over the next month. Start going out to Falcon Lakes, I think, is where the qualifying is. Now, the actual tournament's at Blue Hills. But so we can get you out. We can get you out to Blue Hills as well if you think you're going to qualify. But mainly, we got to get the qualification. People are asking if we'll be able to. We got to find out some more details if you can actually get in this qualifier. Because there's listeners that want to follow you around.
We want to know if we can have a gallery.
You're going to have a crowd following you.
That'd be incredible. A gallery?
That'd be great.
Gold mixing it up with the people, seeing what they think about Drew's game.
We get live reaction. Oh, I'm in. Don't back down. By the way, this all started.
I'm not going to.
This all started. Drew said he could break 100 at Augusta, and now it's turned into maybe you get a chance to qualify for the Korn Ferry Tour. I mean, that's pretty good.
I'm not
I think it's been a good day for you.
It's just conceivably hilarious that this is actually happening.
It's all developed in the last couple of hours.
I'll be making a call today at 2
Live
o'clock
radio.
right after the show.
Are you dead serious?
We have a conference call.
I have a conference call with. It seems like a pretty important person. I don't want to.
He is. He runs. The
I don't want to speak for him.
He
His exact title is Director of Communications and Player Development and Tournaments for the Midwest PGA. So, seems like he's probably in the know about whether or not we can get you this thing. You know?
Oh boy.
People are like, I will follow him. I'm in on the gallery. I will be there.
Someone says they live at Falcon Lakes. They can come out and get you a couple days, get used to the setting.
Wow, yeah,
Perfect.
let's get out there, Drew. I'll play 18 with you.
That is a wild. You said it's May 12th?
May 12th.
Someone says, can we cheer like the Waste Management Open? I don't think
I don't know how Falcon Lakes handles that.
I don't
not
need
during
you
qualifying.
After my tee shot, I don't need you yelling mashed potatoes after I hit it. Okay, it's not.
I can hear like Drew. Third hole. Drew just swings mid swing. Someone's like, "Bagels suck." Just in the middle of your swing, I can see it now. I can see it now.
They would be swiftly escorted out.
That's right.
I can't wait to get more information on this. We will continue to try to figure it out. I can't think about how many people are volunteering to being a part of the gallery.
We're in. We're all in. We're moving forward hopefully this afternoon. Meanwhile, let's talk about Cole Reagans because he's in midseason form. 11 strikeouts last night, part of a 2-win your pitcher's duel. You needed your ace to be like your ace. He was. His last 2 outings, he looks like the guy that was competing for a Cy Young, a guy that was top 3 or whatever in strikeouts a year ago. He's not missed a beat. He had the weird opening day, not as sharp. Other than that, he looks exactly like you would expect Cole Reagans to look. They gave him the extension this offseason. He's the same pitcher, but maybe better, at least when it comes to walks so far, too.
He's only got 6% walks right now, which is way down from what he's typically done. And, I mean, let's just be honest. He has a legitimate claim to the throne of number 1 pitcher in baseball. I don't know that I'm sure some people would argue it or they choose somebody else. And in Kansas City, it'd probably be more biased towards Cole Reagans versus others. He's one of the 5 best pitchers in baseball right now, almost inarguably. And he's got an argument for the top spot. You do realize that after yesterday's game, where the Royals only gave up 1 run, they now have the number 1 ERA in the entire American League? 3.06.
That's wild.
They have the number 1 ERA in the entire American League right now, based on what their pitching staff is doing from the starter end, and more importantly, the reliever end, based on what they build. Cole Reagans is going to end up going down almost assuredly as one of the 3 best trades in Royals history. It has a chance to go down as the single best trade in Royals history, and he is, once again, a very legitimate, one of the 5 most likely people to win the entire Cy Young. Right? I mean, he's one of the 5 most likely people to win the Cy Young.
Yeah, I want to pump the brakes. So act like he's the best pitcher in baseball. I mean, I do want to pump the brakes. He is definitely one
top
of
5 in Cy Young last year.
He's one of the best. I mean, I think when you said he might be the number 1 pitcher in baseball.
I said you could make an argument. I'm not saying he would win that.
I don't want to go that far, but he is definitely one of the best pitchers in baseball, and he's pitching exactly like he did last year. And we saw, again, he had 12 strikeouts a year ago, I think it was. So he had 11 last night, and if the walks are going to be down as well, you needed every bit of that type of performance. Based off of lack of offense against another really good pitcher in Pablo Lopez. And we can talk about the bullpen here in a second, too, because they were part of that formula without their big 3. But this pitching staff to this point has had to be this good. They're 6-5 with the numbers you just said from a starting pitching staff and the bullpen. They're holding up the offense right now. And the good news is it beats the alternative, which is that this team wasn't finding ways to win while their offense has come out of the gate pretty sluggish. Hopefully that gets going at some point. But the pitching has picked up right where it left off, and that's with Brady Singer being in Cincinnati, and Chris Bubich is now your number 4, and he's pitching like a number 1 or number 2 through his first 2 outings. You expect this kind of stuff from Cole Reagans, but the entire staff on the pitching front right now is why this team is 6-5 and not 3 games under 500 through the first 11 games.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a strong argument or anything outside of it, but if he goes, let's say he wins the Cy Young this year, and again, I haven't looked up the odds. I would bet that if the betting market's gold, he's in the top 5 right now.
For AL Cy Young?
Yeah, I'd guess he's in the top 5 right now for American League Cy Young. Skubal and some of the other guys you would anticipate.
Skubal's definitely the favorite still, I'm sure, but
I'm guessing he's probably in that range. And if he went out and won the Cy Young this year, or was second in the Cy Young this year, so he finished in the top 3 each of the last 2 years, top 5 of each of the last 2 years, I mean, you can see why he's deserving to be
Crochet's
higher.
the favorite right now in Boston, 3-1. School 3.5-1. Logan Gilbert out in Seattle, 5-1. Then Cole Reagans is plus 850, followed by DeGrom and Pablo Lopez, who they just faced last night for the Twins, who's 18-1.
And just got hurt. I didn't see an injury update on him. I guess he left the game early yesterday.
Was it fully due to was it a serious
he was
injury?
holding the back of his leg. I don't know how serious
Yeah.
the injury was.
Yeah.
I just know that he left the game early and he didn't return to the game. He was late enough in the game that maybe it was a precaution versus that, but it certainly was in there. The American League stat, that is saying something about where we are. There's a reason why they're 6-5, and it's not their offense. Like, how many guys right now do you feel like are really going offensively? Bobby Wood Jr. 's hitting well.
Jonathan India might be in.
Jonathan India.
I mean,
Michael Garcia into the list. I mean, Vinny's hitting like 220. He's getting runs home. He's a good RBI guy. But he's not
not that it's all about bad average, but I think it's below 200, isn't he?
Maybe, but he's not off to like a roaring start. I don't think he's playing bad. I think Massey and him are playing like, medium level offensive baseball right now. And there's several guys who are ice cold offensively. I get, Isbell had a nice weekend. If you want to like just be complimentary of like the start. Yeah. And that was in a 2 or 3 hit day, because remember the next day after the home run, the next day he had 2 singles, neither of which went more than 30 feet. I can't imagine either went 30 feet.
I mean, look at what ended up being the game winning run last night.
I don't care how you get the game winning.
Doesn't matter.
Just get it is all we care about in this case.
So Cole Reagans was the number one story out of last night, but also I think when you knew going to that game it was going to be a pitcher's duel and you were going to have a tight game, how do you protect the lead when you don't have Urseg, Estevez, and Harvey? It's going to happen multiple times throughout the season, plenty of times. How do you get wins with can you trust your bullpen? And last night, give a lot of credit to the guys.
Schreiber?
And Schreiber specifically, I know Daniel Lynch got the save. He got the one out. Hey, it counts as a save.
Job.
Counts as a save. But that was really impressive to see that they were able to win a close game where they only had a handful of hits. And the bullpen they had no margin for error in a game like that. And they were able to come out with a win. And a little winning streak now. We can call it a winning streak, 3 in a row.
They spent the biggest part of their offseason trying to fix the worst part of their team, which was their bullpen. That's a huge contributing factor to why they got a 3.06 ERA. Sure, Cole Reagans and Chris Bubich aren't hurting the numbers, but as we had pointed out going into the game last night, because none of them pitched, it didn't change. It was a 0.41 or 0.44 ERA between Urseg, Estevez, Harvey, and Lynch. Last night, Lynch lowered that number a little bit by going a third of an inning on the 1-out save. But then, Schreiber did the job. More importantly is when they did the job. I don't expect Schreiber or Zerpa yet to be these lockdown, close every game out, never give up a run relievers. But when it's the timing lines up 5 times, 10 times a year where all the normal guys are unavailable and it's a 1-run game and it's the 7th inning, bad news. This is the day I need you to lock in. That's the best Schreiber has pitched all year. That's his best outing of the year when they needed it the most. Zerpa kept it at 1-1. Schreiber let you get the run. He got 2 of the 3 outs in the 9th, and he got to win the game, and now they're 6-5. Did the Tigers win last night? So they tied for first, or they like a game back? I guess doesn't really matter.
I didn't look. It's almost too early to check the standings.
It is. The AL they won last night.
The Tigers are 7-4. The Royals are 6-5.
Every other team in the Twins.
Below 500.
Obviously, you keep getting further and further away from you, with a chance to win the series tonight, which would take 3 out of 4 against the Twins before we even get to the day game on Thursday. I mean, a big chance. Win one of the next 2 games and you win 3 out of 4. That's a massive series no matter what, especially against a divisional opponent. And if they're going to keep pitching like this, they're going to win a lot of baseball games this year. That's all I know. Cole Reagans was unbelievable. The changeup last night in particular was filthy.
Yeah, let's see if Seth Lugo can get going again tonight as the Royals take on the Twins. Vern's on Deck show, 5:30 right here on 96.5 The Fan. So the reason why we were talking a lot of golf today anyway is because the Masters begin tomorrow at Augusta. Earlier in the show, we mentioned just one of our call-outs for outright winners and where we're going in our direction to keep an eye on the Masters leaderboard and everything in the next couple of days. But do you guys have another bet or two other than outright winners that you guys like? There's a couple top 20 ones. Drew, we know where you're going with this one. You alluded to this a few days ago.
So I'm not going as far as I was the other day where I wanted, or I picked Angel Cabrera to go top 20.
Oh, I thought that's what we were doing. No, you're back.
We're going to make the cut with Angel Cabrera, okay? It's still good, plus money. We got plus 350. Angel Cabrera to make the cut fresh out of prison.
Angel Cabrera out of prison? So you could make any bet, and you thought, what about the jailbird fresh out of
Do you
jail.
want me to
He'd
help
be like
you?
60 years old?
Do you want me to help you with your qualifying? Do you want me to call up
Angel?
No. His golf coach from when he won the Masters. I did a radio show. You want me to get Charlie Epps to give you some advice heading into this Corn Ferry Tour qualifying?
I'm gonna
get him on the show. Get him on the show.
Listen, I think this should be a family affair only, and I'm going to talk to my brother about this. I think my
Cody, you watch. He's going to kick your ass out of the caddy. You got He's going to kick you out of the movie.
This is a show thing.
Hang on.
You see what's happening already? Now that it's gotten real,
Now I'm not a caddy?
He's kicking your ass out of the caddying role. You're not going to be the caddy anymore.
Spec said he needs to be my caddy. Spec is more than willing to.
Spec you're getting boxed out, man. I getting boxed out.
Why? Why am I getting boxed out?
Okay, I'll be honest.
Because you immediately assumed you were caddy.
I think I need somebody
with more golf knowledge.
No, it's not that. It's somebody who believes in me as much as Spec believes in himself.
Wow!
Because
I said I believe in you.
I know,
I'm here to help.
No, I don't know if you do, Cody. I think you're there to help for that moment, but deep down inside,
You can't take criticism. You know what a good golf coach does? Tell you where you can't. Where you need improvement.
You're not his coach.
I know. Yeah, you're not coaching me.
You're his caddy. You're not his coach.
I'm just supposed to pump you up.
Yeah, kind
you
of.
don't want honesty. You don't want honesty.
The caddy is supposed to make him not.
Yes,
it's a mental game. I told him I'm not gonna razz him.
You're supposed to razz me up a little bit, but also
I'm here to support.
If I have a 10-foot putt to qualify for the Corn Ferry Tour, I need somebody who knows what the hell they're doing, Cody.
Okay, I played enough to look at a putt. Okay, come on. I played enough rounds to look at a putt.
I got a text from someone. They said there's a new story coming to Disney Plus in 2027. Go for it. The Drew Nixon story. After making a boastful claim he could break 100 at Augusta with Masters conditions, a young sports radio producer is given the opportunity of a lifetime as a professional golfer. Starring Tom Holland as Drew Nixon, Dave Franco as Alex Gold, and Paul Dano as Cody Tapp.
Paul Dano? Good actor.
Tom Holland.
Not sure he did that. All right, so you're going with Angel Cabrera.
Okay, no, hang on.
That's one of the bets you like.
But I like other ones that are more sensible, if you will.
Sure.
Corey Connors, who I think is actually a dark horse to win it. He's plus 160 to get top 20, plus 400 to get top 10. Something you can play around with. This is one that I like. I don't know if you can do this in all the books, but with FanDuel you can parlay, make or miss the cut. So I'm doing Dustin Johnson, Cam Young, and Victor Hovland. You parlay them together to make the cut. That's plus 300 on FanDuel. Right. Those are as good of odds for those guys to make the cut as Angel Cabrera is. Dustin Johnson, former Masters winner. Cam Young placed 9th, I think, last year. Hovland is on the up. I think I like that one a little bit.
I thought of a couple. There's everyone's got the player. We had mentioned earlier that
Morikawa.
We might both like Morikawa to win. I like Max Homa to make the cut. I get it at plus money, plus 118. Look, maybe not just because he had 7. Did you guys see the screenshot? Yesterday, he took 87,000. Max Homa took 87,000 practice shots on the thing. I just think he's a decent enough golfer that you got to think at plus 118. I like the odds. And then Minwoo Lee, top 10 and top 20. So, I'm not going to bet him to win, but I think he's one of the hottest golfers. So, I just think that, and he's young, and a lot of times they're just dumb enough to go in there and be like, you know what, I'm just going to shoot whatever I shoot and live their life. I like the way he's playing right now. Iron game's good, so I like him to make top 10, top 20.
For me, other than the outright winners, Russell Henley, top 20 finish, plus 110, top 10 at plus 290.
Russell Henley, okay.
He's in the top 10 in the field in strokes gained to tee to green over the past 12 months as well. So we'll go with him. Top 20 finish, maybe even get us a top 10 finish there. So
I really can't believe you're going to kick me off a caddy. Can we talk about this?
No, I think
there's a generous.
I think if it's a real smart decision, if he's actually got a month and is really going for this, he does need somebody
but I'll work with him. I'll work hard on the course.
But I think that's his point.
So I think
he wants someone with a little more.
Mess with his game.
Hang on. So what you're saying is you, me.
Someone on text message, you're too loud on the course,
Cody. So what you're saying is that you, me, and then let's throw Dusty in there to come out and make it a full foursome, and then Spec, we all go out and we play, and then you make your case essentially mid-round.
Qualify to be its
caddy. It can't be who shoots the lowest.
Qualifying to caddy at the qualifier.
No,
I like it.
Again, this is not how good or how bad you play.
We're a team. This is a show. We're together. We're a unit. You're going to ditch me for the boss or for some other guy in a different show?
I'll be honest.
Offensive.
I will say if it's not one of us from the show, that your brother's understandable. That's about it.
I'm going to so that week. So May 12th is going to be a hell of a week. The NASCAR races are here this weekend. May 12th happens for the qualifying event, and then I'm on vacation to go see my brother in Florida.
No, you're not. If you qualify, that vacation's over. You're in the damn Corn Ferry event here in Kansas City.
The Corn Ferry tour.
You cancel that trip.
If this actually is happening, I will call my brother and beg him to fly out for
Also,
a single day. I don't know if he'll be able to do it. Probably not.
If we get you into this qualifier, and there's a decent chance it happens, the NASCAR race that Sunday, you can't go. You can't be out there in the hot sun drinking. No, you got to be
like my dad.
You got to be out on the practice. You got to go get at the driving range that afternoon on Sunday.
I'll be there.
I need you inside.
I'll get the bucket.
I need you inside.
Right.
There's no hot weather. Don't be out at
That's
the
right.
pool. Don't wear
hydrated. All of it.
I had a youth baseball coach who would bench you if he found out you had been in the pool the day before, like a game.
My dad wouldn't do that, but that was my dad's pitch.
It's like I'm 12. You think I'm
we'll
running
have a game later, boys?
Oh, really? Yeah. Big on the.
He would
I
not
had a coach
bench
who
you,
just
but
hated if kids went to the pool.
He would not bench you, but if you showed up sunburned, he'd be like, I don't know about this.
Maybe you can just carry around the sunscreen for him.
Okay, I don't need.
No, I want to be the caddy.
What I'm gonna watch after
I
one
want
shot.
to be the caddy.
Come and dap me up, Cody. I need some more on my shoulder.
I'll gas you up, dude. I'll look, I will. And I think in honor to do this, I think in the next, we'll have a month if we get it lined up. You and I should at least go on the course together.
Oh, 100%.
At least twice. Right, at least twice. You and I will get out to the course. We'll play together. We'll see the course. I'll see the way you play. I'll get kind of a sense of it. We'll get out there.
We will need to do more than just that. We need to when I go to the range like 4 or 5 times a week. We need to do like some social videos. Hey, just give us an update.
I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna reach out to Dottie Pepper, get some advice how to do some golf announcing a little bit.
My dad. My dad once played in a tournament against Dottie Pepper.
I'm not even kidding. If
got smoked.
If this actually happens, when it gets closer, I'm gonna reach out to Charlie Epps, Angel Cabrera's coach when he won the Masters, and we're going to get some advice for you heading in. How to prepare for a qualifier.
How to handle a gallery.
How to handle qualifying, the stress, the pressure, how to mentally get right, all of it.
You said, correct me if I'm wrong, is Tom Watson from?
Oh, yeah. Tom Watson's one of the most
I think we should
historical
try
sports figures in Kansas City.
I think we should try to get a hold of Tom Watson.
All of it.
But yeah,
you didn't realize your flipping comment during the bullpen session this morning before the show about breaking out at Augusta. And here you are.
Again, part of the reason why I think Speck would be good is because Speck also said he thinks he could break 100 at Augusta National.
Yeah, you don't want delusional people. You want a team of people who are like working towards the same goal. Now you're going to work towards a goal. We got a month. Speck's just going to be like, you got this, man. You're just going to be firing at the pen, shooting 66s. He's, like, you need real thoughts.
I cannot wait to tell my brother this. This is going to be hilarious.
I'll rake the bunkers. I'll mark your.
Thank you.
I'll replace
Thanks for doing
divots.
the bare minimum.
Oh, dude.
Well, I will say, Cody, you don't. I'll be honest. You don't. I guess raking the bunkers, sure, but replacing fixing the ball mark, I will do that. If there's a divot there that I take for whatever reason, I will do that. I'm not going to be the guy that hits the shot. As you're doing something, I'm going to go and set my club down on the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is my bag is.
Is it illegal technically? Is it too many clubs or something?
No. The club level, the club amount is fine. It's not a 2-strap bag. It is a single strap golf bag. So
I'm comfortable. I'll be good.
Okay.
I've lost 30 pounds thanks to Awaken 180.
Your legs are going to be feeling it by the time.
I haven't had foot pain in a while, right? Like the foot's been happening less. I'll be good.
Oh, good. Nice.
All right, up next, we'll check in with our Royals insider,
my pitch.
Josh Vernier. We'll talk more about what we saw from Cole Reagans and his perspective on that trade from a couple years ago. Plus, we'll ask him about the potential timeline and what J.J. Piccolo told us yesterday about Jack Caglione. That's coming up here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all. all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
FanDuel is giving new customers an offer unlike any other for the first of major at Augusta. Because right now, new customers can get $250 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. This is the most exciting golf tournament of the year. Can Jordan Spieth get his second green jacket? Who is going to break through this year? Who's going to be the surprise player that sneaks out of nowhere and is on the leaderboard on Sunday? You can bet on all of these storylines, plus first round leader, top 20, top 30, 3-ball, tournament matchups, and so much more. Plus, you'll get paid instantly when you bring home a major win this major season. Visit FanDuel.com/KFNZ to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, and swing for the green at Augusta. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued with non-withdrawable bonus bet. Retire 7 days in receipt. Returns apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas. Under agreement, Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Get them with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit KSGamblingHelp.com.
Get the grass patch very own weed and feed. If you got dandelions, they're prancing in your yard. Get the grass patch weed and feed. Hit 'em fast and hard. You'll see nary a dandelion, and brother, that's a fact. So come on down to the grass pad and give those weeds a whack. Come on down to the grass pad. The grass pad's high on grass.
Now, your big ideas don't have to wait. They have everything they need to come to life because Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas. A technology that loves expanding your business and evolving your passion. We push what technology can do so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. Get all you need for Easter hosting, spring get-togethers, and more with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. From Easter basket goodies to fresh florals, getting everything the same day is easy. Open the Target app and bring the magic of the season to your door with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. Visit target.com/circle or the Target app for more details. Subscription required. Same-day delivery is subject to terms. Applies to orders over $35.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone! Come back! It's my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life! Come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Spring cleaning is upon us, but there's one meaningful box that you don't throw away when cleaning out your closet. It's the box filled with your family's important videotapes, film reels, and photos. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago to help families organize and update their analog media to digital.
Legacy Box is simple and easy. It works and is safe. Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box.
And Legacy Box has been featured in Good Housekeeping, The Today Show, and Rachel Ray.
Legacy Box is like magic, converting your shoebox of memories to the cloud or thumb drive, ready to watch and share.
Declutter your closet by digitizing your media. Become more organized and accomplished, knowing your family's recorded past is safe forever. Take advantage of our spring cleaning sale going on now. It's the easiest task to check off your to-do list.
For a limited time, you can get started for just $9 a tape. Visit legacybox.com/value to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/value to get our $9 offer. LegacyBox.com/value.
Royals coverage sponsored by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Where can you find an extensive line of Blue Demon welding supplies, filler, rods, and wire? Metal by the Foot, located in Casey and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Back here on Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the random question of the day here in about 12 minutes or so, but let's welcome in Josh Vernier, our Royals insider. His On Deck show tonight, 5:30, as the Royals continue their series against the Minnesota Twins. We'll get into the Royals in just a second, but the topic of the day on the show, Vern, has been about our producer, Drew Nixon, who might be in a Korn Ferry qualifying event now after claiming he could break 100 at Augusta. And so
in Masters conditions from the professional tees.
Now I think we have a chance to get him in the Korn Ferry qualifying for the tournament that's going to take place in Kansas City in May. Your thoughts on Drew's chances of qualifying?
Well, I see why Drew crushed the interview with Speck. Speck still holds the record for craziest statement ever made on air, where he believed he could get a base knock off of Mariano Rivera.
Yes.
Hey, I believe in you, Drew.
Thank you, Speck.
Well, it's just funny as the show has gone on, Drew, now that it's getting realer and realer, Drew is talking about flying in and his brother, who's a PGA pro, to be his caddy instead of Cody. It's changed drastically in the last hour.
We don't half-ass anything on Cody and Gold. I like it.
That's right.
I like the energy.
That's right.
I just said his brother is an acceptable replacement for me as caddy, but nobody else at this station is. You can't be going to other shows. You can't be letting Speck caddy. I want to do it if it's not his brother. Unless we get,
yes, I agree. It's got to be real blood if it's going to trump. We work together every single day and are always chatting with each other and constantly texting type of blood.
Yeah, exactly. It's the next closest thing to family when you work with someone for 20 hours on the radio every week.
And when you're trying to put an entertaining product on the radio, like you guys do so very well. Yes, it takes a lot of communication, no doubt.
We appreciate that a lot, Vern. Let's talk about the game last night. Cole Reagans was obviously incredible. Yeah. What's his argument? Top 10 pitcher in baseball, top 5 pitcher in baseball? We know he's a Cy Young candidate. Is he just the generic comment of one of the best pitchers in baseball? Where is Cole Reagans in baseball, not just for the Royals?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, certainly a top 10 pitcher in Major League Baseball, but he's still a guy that can walk around downtown any city in the country, any baseball city in the country, and will go unrecognized. But as I say that, who's getting recognized as far as a pitcher is concerned? Kershaw, Ohtani.
Skeens now, maybe.
Garrett Cole, maybe. So the only way to break through that is by having October success. And with, going into yesterday's game, it's so funny, and it's very reminiscent of 2024. We're saying, hey, I hope Cole Reagans can match what Michael Lorenzen did, right? The type of production that you're getting from Bubic and Lorenzen, very reminiscent of what we saw early last season from Singer and Marsh. So if you have this type of rotation, if the back end of the bullpen's looking like it does, the defense, the base running, Cags lurking in the minor leagues. Yeah, you think Cole Reagans is going to get another opportunity in October, because that's why Andy Pettitte, Clayton Kershaw, that's why the great October pitchers, or the guys that are at least there consistently, become those household names, become those recognizable faces in a sport that doesn't have many.
The other part of last night that I thought was a great sign was the bullpen usage and who they had to use, right? Who wasn't available last night, and they were still able to close the door on the Twins, and where you had no margin for error, Vern. I don't have to tell you, there was no offense really in that game.
Yeah, and a great spot to bring Zerpa in, bottom of the lineup there in the 7th inning. A nice confidence booster for him. I don't know how much he needs it. He's a pretty stoic young man. Schreiber steps up in a big way, recording 5 outs, and going up against a pair of lefties. He's able to retire one of them in Matt Wallner, but Larnach got the better of him. Schreiber is viewed as the right-handed stopper. Zerpa's your loogie. Now, you have higher hopes for Zerpa. You believe he's better than just a left-handed specialist, but that's what their roles are right now. So to see Schreiber gets some big outs against lefties is certainly going to boost his morale. He was nice enough to call into the postgame show last night and said, Estevez and Urseg and Harvey have been doing so well. We're supporting them, of course, but man, I've been itching to get back out there. The opportunities just haven't presented themselves because of, yes, those big three. But again, to bring it back to the rotation, a bullpen's only as good as the rest they're allowed to take. And that is, of course, based off of the type of frames that you're getting from your rotation. And again, to get quality starts, back-to-back outings from Bubic, to get the type of performance that we saw earlier from Michael Lorenzen, boy, really sets this entire team up for a tough stretch here, right? 17 straight games. Really sets them up for success.
Vern, as you look at it right now, the Royals have the #1 ERA in the entire American League. Based on the way, this seems sustainable, right? I mean, for the things we just said, Estevez and Urseg and Harvey, and what we've seen out of Reagans and Bubic and Lugo, I mean, this feels like a sustainable model, correct?
Yeah. Knock on wood that everybody can stay healthy, but I don't view a fluke anywhere. Okay, maybe Lorenzen isn't this guy 32 times. Okay.
Yeah,
fine.
That's probably fair.
But outside of that, Bubic isn't going to throw a quality start every time. Okay, as long as we're being reasonable about it, then yeah, this is very sustainable. And then you look down in Omaha, Luinder Avila's off to a nice start, 6 shutout innings last night from Noah Cameron. So the first ones you're going to call on, as Alec Marsh had a slight setback in his recovery. Right now, the first ones you're going to call upon down in Omaha, building confidence early. Look, each of the past 4 seasons, the team with the lowest team ERA has won the American League Central. No reason to believe that this division, once again, won't be decided by pitching and defense.
We're talking to Josh Fernier, our Royals Insider. Reminder, his On Deck show tonight, 5:30, right here on 96.5 The Fan, as the Royals continue their series against the Twins. Offensively, where are you at with just what you've seen 11 games in to this point? Last night they did what they had to do, get a run across, even if it was unearned, or 2 of them were unearned. It didn't really matter. But what do you make of who's hitting and who's not right now?
Yeah, not disappointed. Unfortunate what happened to Mark Canha. Anxious to hear the update when we get there today. This was a guy that's getting on base more than 50% of the time in the early going. I know he's 36. I know his offensive production's gone down each of the past 2 seasons, but that production is still league average or better. He's given you a quality plate appearance. I thought he had a chance to earn more time, maybe fight his way back into being an everyday player in the big leagues. The guys that are trying to shed themselves of the label as the support staff or the others, right? The guys surrounding India, Bobby, Vinny, and Salvi, they were never going to shed that label 11 games into the season. They're not going to shed that label by the All-Star break, right? We've seen MJ Melendez good for a half of a season. I've seen Michael Massey good for half of a season. If they're going to graduate to that, fans all believe in them and they're an automatically penciled into the lineup, you need to do it. You need to sustain quality performance, quality plate appearances for multiple months. So, Michael Massey's getting on base consistently. I think you're happy with that. Maikel Garcia's forcing the hand of the coaching staff to put his name in the lineup, find a spot for him, right? We saw him DH a day after running around center field. So, early on, I'm unsurprised, really, with what we're seeing from the offense. The top 4 are the top 4. Salvi might be expanding, but he always goes through stretches where he expands his strike zone a little bit, especially when the offense is struggling. And then, Michael Massey's as close to becoming an automatic in the lineup as anyone else. Kyle Isbell's defense makes him an automatic, but if someone can come along, play a quality center field and hit consistently, everyone will find out that Izzy's job isn't cemented, his spot in that everyday lineup. So 11 games in, I wouldn't say that anyone is shocking me with their performance or their lack thereof.
What about Hunter Renfroe? Did the sand of time just run out on the hourglass? Of all the players on the roster, he's the one who looks like maybe Father Time is winning, Vern. I don't know how you feel about it, but normally we would say, all right, if you're not going to hit, okay. But he looks uncomfortable in right field right now, which is not something I would have said about him during other stages of his career.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add to that other than wholehearted agreement. He's not bringing anything to the table right now, right? I just mentioned Kyle Isbell. Still playing really good Defense, I know he had a base running mistake early on in the season, but he's been solid on the bases, had a 3-hit night recently. MJ Melendez is the best defensive corner outfielder that this team has. As long as you're bringing something, you're putting something in the bucket of a victory. It's easy to be patient when you bring something to the table on a nightly basis that maybe nobody else can. Renfroe's arm, Renfroe's consistent, solid defense in right field, that was supposed to be the foundation. That at least he's doing that, and he's not doing that. He's not really bringing anything to the table right now, and clock's ticking.
I guess that's what I kind of love about, like we've talked about this on the show, and I think before we're like, this is kind of what I love about Vinny Pasquantino. Like, it could be the ugliest conceivable way to get a run home. Yeah. He will do anything to, he is a run producer in the truest sense of the word. As in, right. I get it. My job is to make sure that somebody scores a run, even if I don't look all that good doing it. And I kind of like, you can never have enough players that do that, I guess.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I call him the undeniable Vinny Pasquantino. Behind the mic or with the bat in his hand, the dude, you say what you will about him, but you cannot deny he's good behind the microphone, and he's really good with a bat in his hand. And he showcased both, not only refusing to punch out there in the 8th inning, down 0-2, makes contact, and of course, the fastest kid on the planet's going to score on that. But even after the game, if you read his quote to Annie Rogers of MLB.com, talking about how great Bobby is, and he says, man, I'm not trying to take anything away from how great Cole is or how great Zerpa was tonight or Daniel or Schreiber. I'm not trying to take away how great they are, how bad I was tonight, but Bobby, the self-deprecation of Vinny is second to none, and it's, if you have a chance to watch him with Moose and Haas and their podcast that came out last week, you can see the pride that Moose and Haas have in his ability to lead a clubhouse, to be that mouthpiece of the clubhouse, and he takes a lot of pride in it. He's aware of his role and his importance to that clubhouse and to that lineup, and you saw the way that he celebrated after that ground out yesterday. Vinny's about walking away with a victory. It's not talk, right? It's about winning this division, walking away with the crown in the end. You can't have enough competitors like Vinny.
We talked earlier in the show, Vern. Somebody in Kansas went to Caesars Sportsbook and put $25,000 on the Dodgers money line last night at -190. They were down 8-0. They were down 8-0 to the Nationals in the 5th inning. Lost 8-2.
Oh my goodness!
Somebody that listened to this show put $25,000 on the Dodgers money line. It was not
it's a safe place. Wasn't you?
Massive salary that I make. I just put down $25K all the time.
Maybe it's just been a really successful tournament for you.
It's been really good.
You have some extra money lying around.
That's what it was.
Take a chance.
That's what it was.
Royals a slight dog tonight, according to FanDuel. It's a coin flip everywhere else, but
interesting.
Wow, yeah, Joe Ryan. Pack a lunch the next 2 days. I know the Twins look brutal, but Joe Ryan, Bailey Ober, those are difficult matchups. Royals will be equipped with Lugo and Waka. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Royals are slight dogs not only tonight, but tomorrow, too.
I'm always really careful with this because, the way people, want to bury a team. It's like the Royals are pitching really well and all these things. But before we, bury the Twins or crown a different team in the division, it's like the Brewers got their ass kicked by the Yankees. Both those teams are 6-5 now. So it's not baseball can change kind of quick. But getting the first two in a series means if they just win one of the next two, Vern, it's a massively successful series.
Yeah, and a quality homestand as well. Coming back home a lot like 2024 as this sophomore album continues to play. It does seem as if this, it was very carbon copy to 2024. 2-4 to start, coming home with Lugo on the mound, people ready to dive off the bandwagon for some reason, and a good homestand kind of reminds everyone that, hey, the team is good, right? I think that's the takeaway so far, 11 games into the season. Look, are there holes? Are there issues that could be addressed at the trade deadline? Are there things that we're just going to have to stomach over the first 3 months of the season? Sure. But it's a good team, right? Barring some catastrophic injury, it's going to be an entertaining summer. And yes, I want them to win the division, win the World Series, but I want to have a fun summer in Kansas City, and it looks like we're going to have just that.
Josh Vernier, our Royals insider, he checks in with us each and every Wednesday. And again, be sure to check him out tonight, 5:30 right here on his On Deck show. Thanks, Vern.
Thanks, guys.
Always good stuff with Josh Vernier, his perspective on what he sees each and every night out there at Kauffman Stadium. And yes, his On Deck show is at 5:30 as the Royals try to make it 4 wins in a row. I'll get you an update in the 1 o'clock hour. I was doing some more research on our Corn Ferry qualifying for Drew.
Like which part?
Questions. Couple
Oh,
questions.
like what the standard score is to qualify? Or?
I was looking.
Yeah,
at
there's
it.
a certain. Yeah,
There's
I'm not
4
qualifying.
qualifiers from each side are exempt into the actual Advent Health Open. But there's also a cost to register. We can easily raise the money.
Again,
we'll
you guys
we'll
don't
use the show
understand.
fund if we have to. We'll make this happen. Not a problem. Entry deadline is May 7th, it looks like.
I'm going to make this clear. I am not going to qualify for
I got the
Corn
names
Ferry
of some
Tour.
other players that might have already
Regardless of how
put
well
their
I
name
play.
in.
Oh, wow. Okay. We're going to get an update a little bit later
If I
on.
shoot even par, boys, I am not making the Corn Ferry Tour. Let's be totally honest.
We'll
Like,
get-
I'm aware of this.
You got to be confident going in. I'm going to break 100 at
no,
Augusta.
no,
Be
no,
confident.
I am confident in this, but I can be confident and also know for a fact that I'm simply not good enough from a certain distance off the tee. It's just not going to happen.
It says players will be split between Falcon Lakes and another course as well. So I don't know.
Oh,
where
wait. Now we got to practice both courses?
I
Or
don't
can
know.
we be guaranteed Falcon
We'll
Lakes?
find out. I don't know.
I got to know.
It says Midwest Open Qualifier will be conducted on 2 courses with 2 separate fields. Upon the close of the entry, players will be notified which course they'll be playing. Course assignments will be done at random.
Oh, no.
So it could be.
I've got to work 2 courses, man.
What's the other one? Arbanis or whatever it's called? Fred
Probably.
Arbanis
This
Golf
reminds me of high school golf where, hey, coming up, this is the tournament that we're at. This is where we're playing. Let's go out. Let's play a couple rounds, get warmed up, and get
Also,
ready to go. Yeah,
cell
this
phone
is
use.
fun.
There's some rules on that. We're going to have to clarify, Drew. You're not allowed
Okay.
to use it for certain things. all kinds
I
of
normally
stuff.
don't bring my cell phone with me
Perfect.
when
Don't
I play
bring
in
it.
tournaments.
Perfect.
I don't have it
Leave it
with
in the
me.
car for this one.
If anything, I have it in my bag and I don't touch it. I do that normally when I'm, I do that normally. Jeez.
Random question.
The stress is already turned up a notch. I can tell.
know.
Throughout
You
the
feel
show,
it. No,
throughout the show, the stress
Hang
level
on.
for Drew
Hang
has gone
on.
up and up and up.
No, it's not even stress.
fine.
I want to tell you guys because somebody from the 417 points this out correctly. You guys are acting like Drew has been practicing a lot like the pros. That's
He's
what I'm-
the, hold on,
that's what I'm
no.
saying.
This is
From
this all
jump,
started. This all
I
started
said-
earlier this morning.
I understand that, but
This came up naturally.
I understand that, but I'm not saying I'd be competitive in anything.
Yeah,
nor am I
that's fair.
comparing
Yep.
myself to any of the pros.
No, but we're going to
Sure.
have some fun with it now. You said you could break it
Correct.
100 at Augusta, and someone said, hey, we can get you in the qualifier for
The
Corn Ferry. So-
tells us, it gives us a baseline of
Let's
a
do it.
professional event
Sure.
for golfers and gives us an idea of kind of where you are. The random question today is brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss, results every week. And then you receive free support for life online at awaken180weightloss.com. This is your chance. This is your chance to feel like Drew for a minute on the random question of the day, because obviously we were going to relate it back to this. The question I have for you today is, what is your single greatest athletic achievement? I don't care how small. I don't care what level of athletics you played. I want to know what your single greatest athletic achievement is. Random question today for 913-586-7965. On Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, for the video stream as well. So on Twitch, YouTube, we'll take your answers over there as well. I gotta find out what it is. Mine is probably I don't know. I mean, baseball was probably the sport I played the most. That's probably the sport I accomplished the most. And I didn't even accomplish that
Cody's
much.
about to give a real answer.
No, I mean, I was trying to think about I don't know, I hit a home run in a championship game. That felt pretty cool when I was a kid. I once got an interception off of a D1 football player in a flag football game, and I was 19. That's about as good. It was the former quarterback at Missouri. I picked him off once on a flag football. Kobe Jones? I can't remember his name now. It's been too long. That's about the absolute peak of my athletic accomplishments. I don't have a hole in one to my name.
Mine's pretty simple.
I don't have anything like
mine's
that.
Very, very simple. 2 things. Potato race champion, minor league baseball game in Boise, Idaho, and hot dog
That's your
derby
single
champion,
greatest?
and hot dog derby champion at Kauffman Stadium over Cody. He still hasn't won one yet. That's
Nope,
my
I'm
greatest
0 for 4.
accomplishment. Someone says you need to win a hot dog derby before you could be Drew's caddy.
Well, I can't get in the next month, I don't think. I guess I can text the... how...
Someone says they beat
I can
Lance
text to find
Armstrong
out,
in
I
a
guess.
bicycle race.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of bicycle race?
Yeah.
Was this after he was done cheating? I'm just asking. Someone said they threw a no-hitter in slow pitch softball. How bad was the other team? It's slow pitch softball. They didn't put the ball into play for a hit? That honestly, borderline, that's one of the most impressive ones
No
on here.
hitter, 7th grade state baseball tournament.
Someone says, my first and only sack I got playing 7th grade football. I like how sad some of
Hey,
these are.
that's the point.
But yeah, that's
what we're looking for.
That's exactly what we're looking for.
Someone said 4 home runs at Cooperstown, New York Dream Park. Okay. So you were up there at the Baseball Hall of Fame. Been bowling for 57 years, 2 300 games, 2 800 series.
Wow.
What is an 800 series? Out of curiosity, is that Just 4 or 2
I'm
perfect?
I'm not gonna pretend.
I'm
I was
curious.
about to guess.
I have
I
no
don't
idea.
actually know what an 800 series is, but it sounds impressive. And I know what a 300 game is, so an 800 series must be of an equal quality.
He must average, was it 260? Yeah, there's some description on it.
800 series
Must average 267 or better. Bowling at 800 takes 3 times as many frames of excellent performance compared to 12 frames of a 300.
Oh, okay. That must just be like a big benchmark for people who bowl, which is fine. That's impressive all the same.
So
Go ahead.
47, and I've never been to jail.
Can't say the same for me. Hit a 35-foot buzzer beater on senior night in the first quarter. We won 3 games all year, and everyone
There you
went
go.
nuts.
There you go. Someone else said they once scored 100 at Augusta.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Kudos. How'd you manage? Were you a scratch golfer before?
But they didn't break 100
Hold on.
though.
Also, how did you manage to play Augusta? Also, is the question.
I think they might be joking based on our conversation today.
No, you just play along with it.
They might be joking.
Someone says I was an all-state D tackle in high school and an all-state wrestler. That's a pretty good accomplishment. All-state. That's better than any of the ones we've got on this show.
Such an out-of-bounds text just came in that we can never possibly read on the air. But my goodness, what are you doing in the middle of your Wednesday afternoon, sir? What do you do on your Wednesday afternoon? You see that text? My goodness.
He's relaxed.
Talking about being goats and other things beyond sports. Calm down. Calm down.
Someone says 2001 Pop Warner Candy Bowl threw a touchdown and ran for an 82-yard touchdown at Arrowhead Stadium. Go Gators.
Wow.
Nice.
2001 Pop Warner Candy Bowl, man. Never going to forget that moment, are you? I played in some lame, we've won some baseball tournaments or something.
Uh-huh.
You know what? Honestly, one of mine might be, we were playing in a baseball tournament once where the other team wasn't particularly good. And the coach made us hit from the other side of the plate, and I got a single left-handed off a kid. And that felt like the world. Because I was not a switch hitter, to be very clear. Never switch hit other than backyard baseball. We played with like a tennis ball and got a single, and that felt nice. That's the best I got. I did foul tip a ball off of Scott Carroll once. Foul tip. I did not hit it in play, but I did touch.
Foul tip.
I did physically touch the baseball from a major league player when he was in high school, and much worse, and I was terrible. He struck me out. So it didn't really matter after that, but I tipped the ball.
Did Speck really say he could get a hit off of Mariano Rivera?
Yes.
Yeah, he said that.
Yes.
Yeah, he did say
It's
that.
inconceivable.
Yep.
Maybe I don't want him as my caddy.
A lot of people got hole-in-ones. Drew, do you have a hole-in-one?
I do not have a hole-in-one. My brother has one, and it was the dumbest hole-in-one ever.
Well, you're going to get one at the qualifying, you know?
That would be incredible.
Hell
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
Hell yeah.
What a moment. Your brother's a dumb one. Why is it dumb? Hole-in-one's hole-in-one.
His is dumb. So he completely thinned. So his shot, it was like 170 something.
Mm-hmm.
Completely scolded all off the tee box. So thinned it, should have just gone straight in the water. Skipped across the water, up a hill, and dead serious went in.
That's the most incredible
it was
hole-in-one
the
of all
dumbest
time.
hole-in-one.
Amazing.
It was
Honestly,
the dumbest hole-in-one ever.
I'd like that better than hitting a real hole-in-one. It'd be way more enjoyable of a hole-in-one
He had
somehow.
no business getting a hole-in-one. He did.
To just be
he doesn't.
ludicrous.
I don't even think he actually claims it as a real hole-in-one. He's like, yeah, it's not a real
That's
hole-in-one. I haven't gotten
wild.
it.
Someone says they got a hit off of Riley Pint, another local pitcher.
A
Someone said the shot,
triple off a bunt in middle school?
was it a Little League triple?
Oh,
Or did anyone field it?
There's no way there wasn't an error involved, right?
'Cause
How did you get a triple off of a bunt? I'd love to hear that.
From the 316, shot at 39 front nine at Kiel, at the Ocean Course at Kiel,
wow.
That's a tough
which
course.
has had Opens, U.S. Opens and PGAs before.
I like these silly ones. We were playing like baseball. I can't remember, there's no PC term for what we used to call it. When we'd have about half the team and, people wouldn't play on the other side of the field.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You guys are familiar with the game.
Mm-hmm.
We did that. And then a team who was we were probably 19, 20 years old, and we played a team of 16-year-olds. They wanted to scrimmage. They were like, hey, you got 9 players. Will you just play us in a game? We said, yes. And I stole home. And that felt like a big deal because I tempted the catcher into finally, because I kept getting off a third too much, Drew, and tempted enough to throw it and safely stole home. It felt good.
Yeah, the guy responded back and said, by the way, 2 errors on the triple bunt.
Still, you're standing on third, man. That's all that matters.
There you go. That is the random question of the day here on Cody and Gold.
Some of these are so obscure.
Up
There's no
next.
way this person's making up. Last one. My dad got hit by a pitch from Bill Russell in the 60s. Little League in Pittsburgh, Kansas, where we and Bill are from.
Wow.
That's so weirdly specific. Bill Russell got me with a pitch once in Little League baseball.
That is very specific.
No way. I don't think you can make that up. Just too exact. Too exact. Go ahead, Gold.
Up next, Jay Binkley, our draft guy, our draft insider, going to join us in studio. They got a new mock draft out, the Character Concerns crew. We'll do that, and we'll end up talking about golf again next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Living with chronic joint pain is like trying to get comfortable on a cactus sofa. Nothing feels good. And forget trying to do the things you enjoy this spring, like golfing, hiking, and tennis. You're just trying to get by. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Kansas City are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. They've already treated tens of thousands of patients around the country with regenerative treatments that help calm that debilitating joint pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, and your back. With QC Kinetics, the science is solid. They give you your life back without surgery, without drugs, and without any downtime. Curious if you'd be a candidate for these treatments? No problem. The consultation is totally free, and they're happy to take a look to see if they can help you finally get the relief that you deserve. Call now and find out how easy it is to get back to enjoying life without chronic joint pain. Call QC Kinetics now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299.
FanDuel is giving new customers an offer unlike any other for the first major at Augusta. Because right now, new customers get $250 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Can Jordan Spieth get his second green jacket? How about Russell Henley, top 20 finish or a top 10 finish? I certainly hope that's the case. You can bet on all three of those storylines, plus first-round leaders, top 20s and 30s, 3-balls, tournament matchups, and so much more. Plus, you'll get paid instantly when you bring home a major win this major season. So don't wait. Visit FanDuel.com/Alex to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, and swing for some green at Augusta. FanDuel is an official partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and President, Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
The deals are hot, hot, hot this weekend at Hy-Vee. This Friday through Sunday, for 3 days only, the deals are on fire. Get boneless, skinless chicken breast, $2.99 a pound. 24-pack Hy-Vee water, $1.99. Red Baron frozen pizza, $2.99 each. And Coca-Cola 6-packs, just $3.69. Check out our low everyday prices on thousands of items. Stock up and save big this Friday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
There's nothing better than breakfast at the Hy-Vee Market Grill. They have fresh, made-to-order breakfast entrees crafted with the highest quality ingredients, like Hy-Vee's famous biscuits and gravy, sunrise breakfast burrito, the brioche French toast, sweet cream pancakes, omelet skillets, and more, all served with a side of fresh and crispy hash browns. Kids 5 and under always eat free, and they serve 6 to 11 a.m. on Monday through Friday and 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Mornings just got a whole lot brighter with breakfast at Hy-Vee Market Grill.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. Enter now at overheaddoorkc.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorkc.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone! Come back! It's got my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life! Come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Kansas City, this is Michael Massey. Listen to the play-by-play all season long with Denny, Jake, Ryan, and Stu right here on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
1 o'clock hour here on a Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a great day. We've had a lot of fun today. It's been a lot of fun. We're going to talk some draft here in a bit with our guy Jay Binkley from the Character Concerns crew. It's not even a fan club Friday, but Bink's opening up drinks. You know, it doesn't really matter.
Is
Although
it
that might be an
alcoholic
energy drink. I don't know.
Okay.
Looks like hey.
A lot of mock to talk for the next couple of hours after this.
We're gonna get to some mocks and everything.
We talk mocks on the show.
We
Talk
do that.
mock.
We do. You know, we've been talking all day about the upcoming draft. We've been talking about golf, the Masters tomorrow. Are you a Masters guy?
I do. I like it. Having a Masters party. Pimento cheese sandwiches.
You're having one.
Oh, yeah. We're doing the Masters
See,
menu.
pimento cheese.
You ordered like the box from? Like they sell
look at the
stuff.
menu for it. You know, like the $3 club. We're not going to charge for it, of course, but
No, but you can like buy stuff directly from the Masters.
Yeah.
Like they'll send you the dips and the sandwiches and the chips.
This is straight from Hy-Vee.
Mayonnaise and cheese in a spread.
You know what? I do need one other item for this said party.
What do you need?
From Drew. Give me that Blue Chew you were going to give me.
What? Different kind of party.
Take no to yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Do you normally host parties? Do you host parties like that, Bing? That involve Blue Chew a lot?
But Drew said, hey, if I have any left over, I'll give you some. I was like, all right, let's go.
Well, Drew's taking tomorrow off. At one point, we thought it was just to use Blue Chew, but now it might be to train for a golf tournament.
I was planning on going golfing.
See, he's going golfing anyway. You might want to change the course you're going
Here's
to.
the thing, Drew. Have you ever played from the pro tees? Or do you still play from the ladies' tees?
I typically play from not the tips, but not like the black or the blue or the gold, but
start
the blues.
doing that before you talk your smack.
Well, again, I've never trained to play in a qualifying event, so this would obviously be a change.
You get a chance to change.
Drew,
you're going to go as far back as they'll let you at any of these courses.
You can tear up some miniature golf courses.
The furthest course I've ever played, I did 7,100 yards.
Okay. That's pretty far. That's probably comparable to whatever this is going to be.
It's no Alex Ovechkin hitting a hole-in-one his first time out golfing, right? After taking
I'm all in on this. Drew, you know what?
Yeah, I'm all the way in.
All in on this, you know. I'm going to fully support you during this qualifying.
Chew it and do it.
All right, Binkley.
We can get a Blue Chew polo.
Drew
should rock the Blue Chew polo.
Oh, yeah.
Drew. Let's
back
talk.
Of the shirt just says "chew it and do it" on the golf course.
Drew it and do it in his case.
Drew it.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I like that.
That's what the text line always says.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little draft.
By the way, text line yesterday said that 90% of people have not heard of Mel Kiper.
One of these times.
No, this is a draft quote. I got a text that 90% of people have never heard of Mel Kiper. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is not
crazy, honestly.
This is not the Wolf. It's not KMBZ. This is well, Sixth in Sports, but 96.5 The Fan. They've heard of Mel Kiper. So stop it.
I would think so, but also I don't think everybody follows football the way we follow football, so I don't want to say for sure.
Well, this town's crazy about football.
I imagine we'll get to your mock draft from the Character Concerns podcast here shortly. We'll just anticipate at some point a mock draft sounder will hit the airwaves. Earlier, though, we gave our draft crushes. Derek Harmon was one already professed crush. I put that one out on the street.
That.
We can talk about that. I've added one. Colston Loveland has made my new list. I think he's just as good as Ty Warren. I think he'll be just as good in the league as Ty Warren.
That's what we said, Big.
I think he's going to be just as good in the league as Ty Warren.
Man. Oh, that's like comparing somebody to Brock Bowers. It's like comparing someone to Kelsey.
We had the same reaction.
They're both drafted players. Are going to be 15 picks apart, 20 picks apart. Why is it so crazy?
At the position, a unicorn.
That's what everyone says about that. That's what they said about Kyle Pitts. That wasn't right.
You don't need a tight end, a safety, or an Ohio State tackle in the first round.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the Joshua Simmons, his name comes up all the time.
All the time.
At 31.
Mel Kiper put him out yesterday. Presco did the same thing.
I don't get, for the Chiefs situation, I think so many people just look at the Super Bowl and they just assume that they're completely screwed and they have to take a tackle. And while they don't have 3-year answers at left or right tackle currently, I don't think, unless you think Jalen Moore ends up playing above his ceiling, perhaps, that we think he has, and he can end up being a long-term option as well. I just don't get the tackle unless you believe that the tackle class, you tell me, Bink, is not good, that maybe he's the last chance to draft a tackle in the draft that can actually have an impact. Because otherwise, Joshua Simmons just seems like you're going to draft him in the first round and he's going to sit on the bench all year?
No, he is. And most of the guys at the end of the first round, they're right tackles or guards. That's exactly where they go. Matter of fact, the best offensive lineman in this draft is Mimbu from Missouri.
And he's a right tackle.
He's a right tackle that can play guard as well. But that's what it's going to happen. I think Matt Miller even said, 3 of the top 5 tackles will be
guards.
Will Campbell from LSU is considered one of the best tackles in the draft. Short arms. Remember, they all have short arms. But they magically grew an inch when he did his pro day. Magically.
So let me ask you about the Ohio State thing. We've all talked about it. Brett Veach made the comment multiple years ago about questioning pro day numbers and stuff like that of Ohio State. Is that gotten overblown now? That I know they've never drafted an Ohio State player, but obviously Ohio State has very talented players that come out of there and do have good NFL careers. Yeah. So what is it? Is it truly just a flippant comment that Veach made, and it's just been a coincidence? And because as Drew even pointed out to us, he's like, even if you think the numbers are fudged at the pro days, don't you have your own scouts at these pro days that can do their own timing and judge for themselves? So is this overblown now, and it's a fun thing to say that they'll never take an Ohio State player?
I think it's getting overblown because evaluation's gotten crazy, whether it's the combine, the pro days. Look at Austin Gentry. He ran pylons at his pro day, but no 40 time or anything else. Travis Hunter, same thing. He didn't run the 40.
Yeah, that dude is just
Colorado pro day.
Talking about Gentry.
Because they weren't even supposed to have a pro day because that was the Big 12 pro day, but Colorado had their own. But Ohio State defensive tackle Tyleik Williams. A lot of teams are looking at him. The Chiefs are not one mentioned. And this is a guy that could go at the end of the first round. This is interesting. I think first rounders, you're more skeptical. But a Travion Henderson, Kinshawn Judkins, guys of that caliber, maybe Jack Sawyer, guys like that aren't first rounders, could they possibly take a stab on those guys? I think so. They did bring an Ohio State guy in for a top 30 visit, but Ohio State's pro day, they weren't there. And I know that you throw smoke screens or whatever, but when you're sitting at 31, you don't throw smoke screens.
They're one of the 5 best programs in the country. You can't just eliminate them from your draft board. I don't think it's as firm.
Maybe they had a
as
scout there or something, but the GM, head coach, none of the important people were at it that they mentioned. But you got to protect Mahomes. And here's the thing. How much fear do you want? Because let's be honest. The offensive line is going to be same or worse than last year. There's no denying that. Juwan Taylor, he's back. Mm-hmm. Say what you want about him. Trey Smith, like him, he's going to be your right guard. Creed Humphrey's your center, right? Well, what's different at this point? Your left guard was Joe Tooney.
Yeah, it's a downgrade.
You're
no doubt.
You're going to downgrade. He didn't make a great tackle because of the arms, and obviously he's playing that position.
You don't think there's a chance left tackle's an upgrade?
It could.
But the equal downgrade probably at left guard, in my opinion.
You're going to
better left tackle, but worse at left guard.
I don't care who you get at left guard, they're not going to be Joe Tooney.
Sure, I agree
and
with
then
that.
left tackle could be an upgrade. And again, Andy Reid went out of his comfort zone because his arms aren't quite the 34 inches that he prefers that Jalen Moore has. So he has bent a little bit from that 34 and a quarter for Jalen Moore. So, yes, that could work out. And he's a guy that's been in the NFL, obviously, behind Trent Williams. But you got to trust. Mahomes needs the time, man. He's got to have that trust factor. And to put a rookie out there with this team, don't think that's fair. I don't think guys like Kelsey that's on his last legs would go for that. Or I just don't think they'd go for it.
If I told you they drafted any tackle at 31, whether it's Simmons or at 31, what does that tell you? Does that tell you that they plan on that player being a right tackle next season, like 2026? Does it tell you? What does that tell you?
And they're the starting guard this year?
It could if a guy they really like fell, like Coven Banks or somebody like that from Texas fell. I could see him maybe doing it, but there's so many other needs they need. But it's what they do. It speaks volumes. It's like when they went out and traded the Ravens of all teams for Orlando Brown. And they got pick 58, which turned into Nick Bolton. That was a smooth trade for the Chiefs because that was a rival, and you took their left tackle in Orlando Brown. Say what you want about them, but they need a left tackle. You know why? Everybody's mock was Sam Cosmi, Liam Eichenberg, Alex Leatherwood. Was all these tackles the Chiefs said,
I didn't want any of those guys.
We'll make a trade for Orlando Brown because they weren't proven, and You didn't trust them in there with Mahomes. They did this before. I think they'll do it again.
Who do you think is the best? Oh, man, I was going to ask you the best fit at left tackle is.
Is that
in the first three rounds of the draft?
It's nice weather outside.
It is nice. It's not testing the tornado sirens.
not a tornado.
This is our mock,
This is a mock draft.
sounder. And where are we going today?
The man who's in studio. We're going to Jay Binkley, also Chris Uno.
About damn time.
Well, hold on, Bink. We
You guys just put out the new mock on Monday, didn't you?
No, it's yesterday. But
Yesterday.
This disrespect. Blatant disrespect from a quote pro golfer.
Bink, we did your first mock draft. We are following up with
All right.
2.0.
So
Too much blue chew.
So this is not 1.5. This is 2.0.
This is 2.0.
Okay.
From Bink.
We've done the full NFL 1.0, so we've actually done 3 of them, and we'll get to about 4 to 5.0 by the time this is all done. We have a draft special tomorrow night.
That's right. Round 1.
Round 1.
Pick 31. You guys have the Chiefs taking
Luther Burden.
Luther Burden.
Okay.
Here's the thing about Luther. If you watch any game films, there's certain guys that just stand out, man. I mean, he's a guy, when you watch, best slot receiver in this draft. I love Steve Smith's breakdown of him. Steve Smith, I think, does one of the best jobs as a former receiver. He goes to the pro days, and he knows about the position. Best slot receiver in the draft, in my opinion. McMillan's actually sliding, to where the Chiefs are,
Why
too.
do you think that is?
Boundary. There's a lot of reasons. Did he take all the plays off 2 years ago? Was he shut down in Colorado? There's a lot of reasons.
How much do you buy? Sorry to cut you off. How much do you buy? Like you mentioned how I say this because as you're saying it out loud, I'm like, what does this really mean? You said he's sliding down now. What has changed in the last week?
Nothing.
Right,
Nothing's
that's
changed
what I'm
since the
saying.
season. It's
Yeah.
funny how guys go up and down. Now Travis Hunter's the betting favorite to go number 2. Things happen and guys slide. The really people that matter are the people making the decisions, and they're not the ones putting out mocks. So it's basically a guessing game, unless you're in with the agents and stuff like that, like a Mel Kiper, where he may be hearing things here and there, which he usually does. But he was 16th last year in the actual mocking the mockers. But we went Burden. He just jumps out. If you watch him, it came to the decision because Chris and I have talked about it. Like Derek Harmon's who I really like Cody. Plays that 3 technique, gets to the quarterback. There's a lot of things on the defensive line that you want. And it's an extremely, talented defensive line draft. And we had a decision to make because obviously we went defensive line with Nick Scorton, the edge from A&M in our first
what happened
mock.
to him?
Well, he was taken actually.
How many spots earlier do you think he went?
Actually, no, he wasn't. It was the Derek Harmon. I think it was 2 spots ahead he was taken. But Derek Harmon was still there, which I don't think he's going to be. I think that's a pipe dream. I think, around 20, 21, 22 at the latest for Derek Harmon. But we went Burden, and then we went straight to Joshua Farmer, the defensive tackle from Florida State, in the next round. So we did fill those needs for the Chiefs. But here's the thing with Burden, and I've always been pro offense with Mahomes because you have to be. He needs talent. And, squeaking by in these one-score games that he had to deal with, I want to see the Chiefs get back to putting teams away. That St. Joe Chiefs that we saw last year, that everything on Twitter was, long bombs to Hollywood Brown or Worthy or whatever. I want that team again. And here's the thing. You can't always count on healthy receivers. It's great. It's a pipe dream when you look, on paper they look good. On paper they look good last year until Hollywood Brown gets hurt on the first play in preseason against Jacksonville. Rashee Rice gets hurt in a tangled up thing with Mahomes against the Chargers. All of a sudden you're without your 1 and 2 receivers essentially for the year, and you're saying, hey, rookie, step up. Hey, rookie, he wasn't ready to step up. Xavier Worthy was ready to step up towards the end of the season. But what happens in that situation? Rashee Rice, when he gets slapped with a suspension, which is inevitably going to happen, then you're down 1. If another guy gets hurt, then what are you doing? Justin Watson now with the Houston Texans. Give this team some ammo. I think Luther Burden's a long-term answer for the Chiefs. It's one of those guys that just pops out when you watch him.
What do they get in Joshua Farmer? Why do you like him? You have him round 2, the pick 63 overall.
Defensive line. I mean, they definitely need defensive line help. He's a defensive lineman we've liked quite a bit throughout the mock draft process and looking at. Just a guy that I think fits nicely with what Spags likes to do, especially on the defensive line, and especially if you're going wide receiver at 1, you better go back to defensive line at 2 because it's extremely, extremely deep class.
Yeah, I guess that's part of why, I understand the idea of, should we be doing first-round guys at defensive tackle if there are a bunch of other ones available, but by all accounts, I don't know if you guys are looking at it the same way. Not a good year for wide receiver. Not a good year for corner. So, taking those guys in the first, if they're not first-round talents, Burden is one of the guys who are. That's why I can't.
Like if a Jahdae Barron, the cornerback from Texas, falls, okay. Savon Ravel's the guy we really like, too, from East Carolina. That's a possibility.
I might be wrong. I think everybody's way off on Burden in these mocks, and he's going to go like 17. There aren't enough good wide receivers, and there are a lot of teams who need a good wide receiver. I don't know why I'm not just buying it. I do not understand.
Well, Matt Miller likes
that every
him as his
max got him
best receiver.
25 to 45 in the NFL draft. It doesn't make any sense.
It is weird that he's, from where he was in even October, Bank, when he was viewed as a top 15 pick, and now
Going
we're supposed to
into the
believe that he's
season,
going to fall into the middle.
He was
Yeah.
considered the best receiver coming out. He's definitely the best slot in college football. Steve Smith likes him as a first-round selection. Mel Kiper had him sliding to the second.
Yeah.
But that is the player, if he is there. If the Chiefs will get conversations and calls, it's because of Burden. They're not going to get calls for a quarterback or teams wanting to trade back in at 31. Burden's the type of guy that people would pick up the phone and call about.
You mentioned you don't want the close games. You want them to blow out opponents. One of the ways to do that would be getting more explosive at running back. Do you have him taking a running back in your mock draft?
We had Dylan Sampson going in the third round, pick 66 in the first mock. This time we had to wait till the second pick in the third round, pick 95. Basil Tootin, Virginia Tech, had over 6 yards of carry, 4.28 speed at the combine. The dude flat flies, and he's good in the return game as well. So obviously,
what's the question mark around him? Because the speed is incredible
on the return game. I mean, just maybe playing at Virginia Tech, not necessarily playing the spotlight, not playing in the playoffs, things like that.
I don't care
about
running
that
back.
I like
especially
home run
running back.
But he's a home run type guy. Like, they need that. And, Pacheco should be that. He is a 4.37 guy at the combine, but he hasn't showed it. I mean, you have to show it on the field, what you do.
He does not look like a 4.37 guy when he plays.
Sampson I like better, though, honestly, than Tootin, because I like in between the tackles, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Like a running back, you can stick out there and you don't have to pull him out. 3 down back.
But is Andy, are they going to adopt that? I mean, they used to. I'm not saying they haven't under Andy Reid. It was a 3 down back when it was Kareem Hunt, his rookie season. I think when they first started rolling with Pacheco, he was a 3 down back, and they use him that way. Are they going to keep going back to that? I just can't decide in this era of running backs are back in vogue a little bit, how these teams are going to handle. Because a lot of teams are going 2 backs.
Well,
and
Kareem Hunt
two
could be
very,
used a lot like Samaje P. Ryan was.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, because
I don't want him overused, that's for sure.
Because P. Ryan's down back with the Bengals, but if Hunt's that guy or the guy they trust on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, it depends. And obviously, the tush push will have to follow what's going on there. I think, as you and I talked about, Alex, I think the Chiefs would be in favor of it because they do use it, not on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, but they use it down the field.
The speed at running back is why Tootin's interesting, but
very fast.
People have brought up on the text line and just did a quick little search around him or whatever. Andy Reid, we know you start fumbling the ball. You're in the doghouse and there's sometimes no getting out. Would that be a concern with this kid? Because that's it. Drops and fumbles are listed as a concern for him.
That would be a concern, but what can you do at the pro level? I mean, that's all. A lot of these guys, it's the ego thing, and they get them in camp and they
teach
coach
them the
that
5
out
points of contact.
They have them carry a football around St. Joe.
Right.
Like what is the program? Like people are trying to knock it out of his hand.
Tootin is a much mocked guy to the Chiefs.
Okay. What about a little bit later on? I know Brett Veach has
no
obviously
tackles?
had.
What's the deal?
You have another wide receiver coming off the board.
Yeah, I think they should go 2. At least Kyle Williams is the guy he played with Cam Ward actually at Washington State. Then Cam, of course, went to Miami. He stayed at Washington State, but Kyle Williams, a guy that's really starting to climb draft boards. I mean, there's a lot of out there for a guy like Kyle Williams. But yeah, it's 2 receivers. You want some challenge. At the end of the day, do you really want Juju on the roster to begin the season? These are type of guys that could push him out if you go back-to-back or at least 2 wide receivers in this draft. We went tackle in 7, Dalton Cooper. He was the
really
tackle.
Late, though.
Well,
really.
it is.
Like
it's
6.
very late. But
that's just a swing, total home run hope.
But, he's one of those guys that, this is a project-type guy. Keep in mind, Jalen Moore spent years as a 5th-round pick. He was Sky Moore's teammate at Western Michigan, Jalen Moore, before the Chiefs brought him in. But he spent years as a backup. Dalton Cooper's interesting to me because he was at Texas State, started 36 games left tackle, transfers to Oklahoma State, started all but 2 games to left tackle, played right tackle for a couple. He did come in for a Chiefs top 30 visit. So it is a guy that you can get late. And keep in mind, a lot of these top 30 visits are built upon guys
they don't know about, guys they haven't already decided about.
Well, sometimes. I mean, you go back last year, and Kingsley came in for a top 30 visit.
Yeah.
Carson Steele came in for a top 30 visit, and obviously he was an undrafted free agent, but they wanted to talk to him. They had questions for him. The year before that, Rashee Rice came in for a top 30 visit, drafted him. B.J. Thompson came in for a top 30 visit, and they ended up drafting him. But they don't draft many of them. There's not many of them. It's guys they may have questions about or later in the draft type of guys. It's rare that a guy like Kingsley in the second rounds take, or Rashee Rice, that they bring him for a top 30 visit.
I'm just wondering whether or not, and I just don't know. Like, I don't want them to take tackle in the first round because I don't think the talent's there. I don't know if I want them taking them in like the 6th. What are give me a couple of names, Bink, we can keep an eye on in like the 3rd, who could still maybe play tackle at the NFL level, left or right, and could also compete against Kingsley Suamataia for left guard. That's what I want. I want a tackle who might be a guard and competes against Kingsley for playing time today, but could still be at right tackle maybe the following year.
Well, obviously, Booker from Alabama would be a first-round type talent if you went guard in the first round, which I don't think they're going to do, but it's a possibility.
Like 3rd round.
Wyatt Milam is a guy.
Okay.
But there's a lot of questions on him, whether he'll still be a tackle. He's out at West Virginia. A lot of high praise for him. Ursery's another interesting guy, and I'll talk about him.
I don't know where he's going to end up. I've seen him in the 2nd a couple of times.
He played extremely well at Minnesota. He's a Kansas City kid, too, by the way. He played at Ruskin High School, played for Minnesota. Donovan Jackson, but again, that's an Ohio State guy, not going there. Cameron Williams is interesting, the right tackle from Texas that they could probably get later on in the draft. That could be essentially a Jawan Taylor type of replacement in the future. Charles Grant's interesting, but he played at William & Mary, and that's an FCS school, but he's getting a lot of buzz in draft circles from what he did at the Senior Bowl and when he got a chance to play good competition. Logan Brown of your Jayhawks will be a guy maybe in the late rounds as well.
So those are a few other tackles to keep an eye on. We got Jay Binkley, one of our draft insiders, our draft insider here on Cody and Gold. The name that Drew brought up at wide receiver the other day for a late round pick, what do you make of this? Isaac Tesla. Are you familiar with Tesla's game?
I think he stinks. I barely know him.
He's at Arkansas, Bink.
Arkansas, Bink. The
I
last
know who
name
Tesla is 'cause everybody has the signs and everything else.
The last name brings us plenty of opportunity in the future.
He's just not a productive player.
He only had 546 yards last season. He was a community college guy or Division II guy for a while.
Jack Besh out of TCU.
Jack
I think that
Besh?
guy. Oh yeah, he was the. His brother played at. Was at Princeton. He was one of the people that died there on Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
But Jack Besh at TCU. Jalen Royals another one to watch out for as well for the Chiefs. Jalen Noel's interesting. He's getting a lot of buzz.
Somebody said they liked him better than they like Luther Burden.
Jaden Higgins has that size at 6'4", that played at Iowa State. But Iowa State had two of those guys because Jalen Noel's a Park Hill guy.
Yeah.
And he's getting a lot of buzz around the country as well. But there's a huge gap. And they even talked about that with Palmer and Steve Smith about the top 4 receivers. When you're Golden, Igbuka, and Luther Burden and Tedoroa McMillan, a huge gap between that and then getting into the Trey Harrises, the Alec Almanors from Stanford, those type of guys, and Jaden Higgins, those kind of guys. Because there is a gap. There's a big gap. Second round, we might not see runs on receivers maybe till the end of the second, possibly the third.
Okay, something to keep in mind.
Last year we had 7, and that tied the record from 2004.
I know we'll have you on before we're out. I know we'll have you on again before we're out at the Landing. But what can people expect Thursday, April 24th, 2 weeks from tomorrow night at the Landing? Christian Osera and yourself going to be anchoring our coverage from there.
Yeah, we'll have fun at the Landing like we did last year. Everybody's there. It was $610 price package.
Right.
It's $965 right now.
Moving to the FM dials, helping everybody.
So you get a point. If you get guys in the first round, you get more points if you have the correct team selecting the correct guy. Spectre has a lot of fun grading these things. That door is shut the next day as he goes into deep grade mode on these things. We had a lot of fun last year. A lot of inebriation towards the end of the night when the Chiefs made the trade with the Bills, which made it a lot of fun. Who the hell traded up? Buffalo. I mean, it was quite fun at the Landing. Love to be back there. We'll do another draft special this coming Thursday. Mac McMullen from the Chiefs will be joining us. We had 2 mockers in last week's draft special, and then going forward the following week, we're doing the same thing. Chad Ryder, NFL.com, does a lot of mock drafts. Maybe hear from Drew on some of the sounders for Chad Ryder.
That's right. That's what I hear. Someone also said
Bryce
Drew
Carter's coming in too.
Someone said they heard Drew enter the draft. He's going to pursue a kicking career in the league as well.
No, I will not be.
Any kickers getting drafted this year, Bink?
I thought I saw somebody said they were taking a punter in like the 4th round or something in some random mock.
What a waste.
A
punter?
Teams do it sometimes.
A punter?
Idiots.
A punter?
I swear. I saw it. I'm not making it up.
Is what's his name from Alabama draft eligible, Bink? The kicker from Bama? I forget his last name.
He's not a top 5 kicker. Borregales from Miami is probably the best kicker in this draft.
Someone says they want the Chiefs to use
Ryan Fitzgerald from Florida State's really high sought after as far as kickers are concerned.
They want the Chiefs to use Mr. Relevant pick on Desmond Watson, the Florida defensive tackle that's 464 pounds. Just slug him in the middle like that. Imagine him wearing pads in St. Joe at 464 pounds.
Chris Jones would be playing the edge even if he was playing the second interior offensive line position.
I got in trouble when I used to broadcast high school football because there was a kid listed at $3.99. And that was well over 4 spins. $3.99 was being very nice. And I said they can run a 4-man front with 3 guys. And his parents hated it. And they called in to complain. You know, a bunch of Karens, those kind of people that call in. But $3.99. I said there's no way in hell this kid's $3.99 because they're running that 4-man front with 3 guys. I love it.
4-man front with 3
guys. You know what? And if you're 400 pounds, please wear a single digit, man. Please.
I know you have that feeling. But could you imagine this guy from Florida up in St. Joe?
He's used to it. He's in Gainesville every summer.
I know. But I'm just imagining us doing our show and we see him walk down the hill. He's 464.
Probably taking a cart down the hill.
You're not allowed to as a player unless you're hurt.
Yeah, but
that cart's not holding them.
I don't think
that cart's not holding you at 464.
Porta potty probably wouldn't either.
Yeah, you're walking down.
Is that where he's getting mocked at? Is he even going to get drafted, Bink?
I don't know, man.
Or is he in there?
I don't know.
7th round, Mr. Irrelevant. There are no bad picks.
You remember the porta potty drill they used to do? The Chiefs.
Well, that's a long time ago.
I know. I think it was Bieniemy, wasn't it? The running back.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's been 6-7 years probably.
It was a great drill.
Maybe.
You ever use a porta potty, Drew?
Yes, I've used a porta
potty. Better get used to it during qualifying. There's no bathroom breaks, buddy. Get locked in. Get locked in during qualifying.
I'm used to
and
finding
don't be caught
in the
woods. That's an offense.
Well, I'm used to doing that in tournaments. That was back, I guess, when it was okay to do so.
That's illegal, man. You'll find yourself not allowed near a school.
Oh, jeez. Thank you, Bank, for coming in studio.
Thanks, guys.
My goodness. You're filling in for CDOT, though, today, right?
Yeah, I'll be
CDOT's
here
still
for
under the
Dot.
weather? Okay.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of basketball talk.
Yes. CDOT is unfortunately out again today. He's dealing with some cold or something. So Bink will once again be in at 2 o'clock. Up next, we'll get to what's trending. We'll react a little bit to what Bink had to say next.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
It's a big golf week, not just for Drew as he continues his method towards maybe future professional work. We can't say for sure, but instead the huge golf tournament this weekend, and you can make those selections over at Underdog. It's one of the leading sports apps that you can play in your state from the Missouri side. So you could be at the game tonight for baseball and making your selections. You could be watching from your couch at home for Thursday or Friday's rounds and make your selections. And you have a chance to win up to 1,000 times your money over at Underdog. Just choose which players will go higher or lower than their stats, maybe their round scores, points, assists, so many choices. Basketball, baseball, golf, those selections are all available over at Underdog. Join the millions of fans who have already won billions making plays with an app with over 100,000 5-star reviews. Download the Underdog app today using that promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to unlock a special offer for up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncbgambling.org.
At Shane Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they choose a Shane Company engagement ring. They walk into a warm welcome and walk out with their dream ring, knowing they got it right. For almost 100 years, we've been offering personalized shopping experiences. And we're in it way past the honeymoon, with a free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, cleanings, repairs, and resizing for life. Shop with us at shaneco.com or at your neighborhood store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Some things just go together, like peanut butter and jelly, or a Casey's spicy chicken sandwich and a 49-cent medium pound drink, or a Casey's breakfast sandwich and a 49-cent pound drink, or even Casey's limited time Italian deli sliders and a 49-cent pound drink. You get the idea. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. See store for details.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors.
like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Looking for the best food, drinks, and game day vibes? The Landing Eatery and Pub in Liberty has you covered. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 7 p.m. with great drink specials. Game day buckets, 5 beers or seltzers. Keep the party going Saturday and all day Sunday. Catch every play on over 68 TVs while enjoying our massive 102-item menu. Love live music? Our neon-lit smoking patio has bands Thursday through Sunday. Don't miss out. Check out our daily specials at landingeateryandpub.com.
Honey, it's me, your wife. Spring is here, and our house desperately needs the experts at Powell Exteriors Casey for siding, windows, entry doors, beautiful decks, patio covers, roofs, and more. Get ready for summer at powellcasey.com.
Man, are you over 40 and struggling with low energy, not feeling like yourself? Low T Center's testosterone replacement therapy is the solution. Get started today by visiting one of our conveniently located clinics. Meet a medical provider and get back to feeling your best. This April only, the consultation is free. Treatment is tailor-made just for you and is covered by most major insurance. Get treated at our centers or from home. Why wait? Book your appointment now at lowtcenter.com. That's lowtcenter.com.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Hey everybody, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers, featuring Skechers' new Contour Foam, a soft, cushy footbed that shapes your foot when you walk, softening every step.
Best of all, they have slip-in technology so I can just step in and go with no bending down and no touching my shoes. Once I start walking, this is like Contour Foam is hugging my foot, and normally I don't like hugs, but when it's my Cozy Fit's doing it, I'm all in. Hug away, shoes. Hug away!
You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear happens to be sold. Nice spot, Howie. Give me a hug. Give me a hug, baby.
Oh, I'm being hugged.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. We got the fight for the green jacket at Augusta National this week. The top golfers in the world all vying for that green jacket have to be playing at their very, very best. You also have to perform at your best in the bedroom. What if there was something that could help with that? I'm talking about Blue Chew. Your partner wants you to do whatever it takes to make your sex life better, and Blue Chew is your secret weapon for the bedroom or wherever you decide to get it on. Turn oh no into oh yes with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is an online prescription service. There's no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy, and it ships right to your door in a discreet package. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription, and if you don't like swallowing pills, it's no problem, because Blue Chew's tablets are chewable. Free sounds great, doesn't it? If you want a great offer, go to BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use our promo code KFNZ at checkout. You just pay $5 in shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code KFNZ to get your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Stay comfortable year-round with expert HVAC installation done right the first time. Enjoy zero down and payments from $180 a month. Schedule your consultation today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. What's trending?
What's Trending is presented by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any other university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu. The Royals back in action tonight. Seth Lugo gets the nod. 6:40 first pitch. Vern's on deck show is at 5:30 as the Royals try to get their fourth win in a row and get another one against the Minnesota Twins this evening right here on 96.5 The Fan.
Next up on What's Trending, you mentioned the Royals, which is good, but Xavier Worthy and his ex-fiance make an agreement to drop both cases against each other. In some of the comments to TMZ, she made it seem like her lawyers were misleading in some of the comments outside of there, but either way, they've decided to wash this thing in an agreement that essentially dropped cases on both sides, and it appears it's into bed now. Like, the way I would view this is the NFL has no real reason to get involved. This never really developed into anything at all, truthfully, and now the entire thing is being dropped. So I guess, I thought there was a stretch right after this happened. I'm like, boy, we're going to have to worry about suspensions for two different players over the next few years. But now that all the details have come out and where we are in the case, obviously nothing's going to happen to Xavier Worthy.
Elsewhere, Dwight Howard, an 8-time NBA All-Star, Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame inductee this year, as a matter of fact. He announced he will be joining the Big Three for his final season of professional basketball. He'll play for the Los Angeles Riot in 2025 as he looks to close out his pro career.
I haven't followed the Big Three. They named their team the LA Riot.
They did.
In a weird way, kind of a badass name.
They did. They will be one of eight. They will be one of 8 city-based teams in 2025, joining Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Detroit, Houston, Miami, and the DMV area.
Okay. Next up on What's Trending, Texas Tech star forward JT Toppin, the Big 12 Player of the Year. He's announced on Wednesday he'll return to the Red Raiders for his junior season. Most people think that he would have been a late first, second-round pick or whatever. He is likely to be top 10 nationally for odds of a National Player of the Year.
His NIL number is $4 million, I believe, for this year. That's
Hunter Dickinson after said those numbers are lies. I'm sure after he got some criticism. He averaged 18.2, 9.4 rebounds last season. So they'll be a top 10 favorite to win the title again next year?
Could be.
They're going to be a huge bear in the Big 12.
Yeah, could be the case. There's no doubt about that. Thinking of college basketball, I don't get into the recruiting ranking stuff very often, but Kansas's signee Darren Peterson is now the new number 1 player in the 2025 class. He joins he joins a KU club that includes Andrew Wiggins as KU recruits that were the number 1 rated player in their respective class.
Wiggins has turned into a nice NBA player.
He has, yeah. No doubt about that. But just saw that come across in the last, 35 minutes or so.
Lastly on What's Trending, don't forget our NFL draft party. You just heard Bink. It'll be coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow, April 24th, for the first round of the NFL draft. Your chance to win $965 if you come join us at The Landing in Liberty. It is typically a very popular event. I would suggest getting your table early, but it's typically a very popular event. The entire station and all of its hosts will be out there. Chris Uno, Sarah, and Jay Binkley will be broadcasting live with more draft content as well.
There you go.
It's a great event. 3 years in a row, right?
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. We enjoy doing it. And it's going to be a packed house. I can promise you that. It's always had a great turnout, and we're looking forward to seeing all of you for that. So
you're going to react to Bink first, or are you going to tell us all these details we need to know about Drew's golf tournament?
Yeah, we can react.
You know more than I do, evidently.
We can react to what Bink had to say. His latest mock, also him and Christian Ocero, by the way, have him going Luther Burden at 31.
Look, I'd love it. That's a lot of fun.
If the Chiefs are on the clock at 31 and Burden's available, given obviously plenty of Missouri fans are Chiefs fans as well,
it's going to be the fan pick.
That'll be the pick that every fan wants. And if they don't draft him, fans are going to be upset. We just know that, for sure. I think I'm with you, though, that I still don't believe he's going to be there at 31 to begin with. For a player that once was viewed as a top 10 or top 15 pick. And look, players slide all the time, but it's just kind of weird. I'll actually lean with what Matt Miller said as well when he joined us. And he still thinks he's the best wide receiver available. And if the drop-off that Bink is talking about is true after McMillan and Burden and Golden in that group, if that's a huge drop after that, then Burden's not going to – if everybody agrees there's a huge drop after Burden, why is Burden going to slide to 31?
I just think everyone's wrong on this one. I just think that this is the player that most of these people running these mock drafts are wrong about. Matt Miller came on the show, and he said he thinks he is the number one most talented receiver in the entire draft, which means there is another NFL team who must also think that they like them even better than the guys who are going to go top 10 or top 15. There's only really one that are going to go higher than Luther Burden. And if that's the case, he will never, and I mean never, make it to 31. The cost of wide receiver in the free agency market and in the re-sign market is astronomical. It's $40 million a year now for a top-end wide receiver. And with those prices, for a guy you can pay $2 million a year to, Burden ain't making it to 31. If he did, I'd love the pick. Love the pick.
There's
I like
also
the
part
player.
of you, isn't
I
it
like
part
the
of
pick.
you?
I think it'd be fun to have Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy and Luther Burden on the same team together at the same time, and then you don't have to worry about finding a pass-catching tight end and all this other stuff.
My only question with any of these guys, like all of a sudden, if he fell to 31, then you start to wonder, okay, what are we missing here? Like, not that it means it's everybody else is right, but it always you start thinking that way. If he's at 31, you're like, what are we missing here? There's a reason why he fell. Why is he falling at that point? Is he the player that you think he actually is? You'll start to get that thought from the outside a little bit. And then I hear Bink's point on Burden, which is you never know who's going to get hurt. You never know what suspensions can come up. But is Luther Burden all that different than what they have in the room?
This is tough because when you talk about it's different. I think you can move around Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice to make Luther Burden work. I know you're going to be like, well, Luther Burden's a great slot receiver.
Him and Rice are similar, somewhat similar.
Rashee Rice works, but I just think you can put one of those guys. I just think you move them around.
Yeah.
You do 4 wide, you run them on opposite sides of the slot. And I do think that you need one more talented offensive player to eventually draft past Travis Kelce. And logically, you're like, we'll just get another tight end. A lot harder to find a really good offensive tight end. The idea that you could, and I just love the idea of pairing up Patrick Mahomes with 3 first-round talents at wide receiver. Because, like, in retrospect, Rashee Rice would have gone in the first round if they redrafted. Xavier Worthy would still go in the first round if redrafted. And if all of a sudden Luther Burden's there too, damn, that's some talent. Let them duel to the death about which ones get the contracts eventually. But, like, for a few years, you could be paying nothing at wide receiver and be a truly explosive offense. I guess the only difference is, like, Worthy becomes your true speed guy. He's one of the fastest guys in the NFL. I don't think that seems like all that bad of an idea. Like, I like the idea. I do not think he'll be there.
Yeah,
I straight up do not think he'll be there. And I don't mind taking defensive tackle later, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, because there's a million guys at that spot.
Yeah, so if you missed it, Character Concerns, their new mock draft is out. You can check out their podcast. They also have a draft special tomorrow night. Bink and Chris Sunocero right here on 96.5 The Fan. If you've missed any bit of the show today, it's been a show that we did not did not plan to discuss golf as much as we did. We were going to talk about the Masters already. Masters are tomorrow. We're excited about that. First major of the year.
Morikawa to win, maybe.
Yeah, so it's fun, right? The most casual golf people watch the Masters, and it's a lot of fun. We'll have leaderboard updates starting tomorrow on the show. And in the bullpen, which is our area we kind of hang out in before the show. We go over some of the show stuff. And we call it the bullpen. And so we usually are shooting the you-know-what before the show. And we were talking about Augusta. And Drew said that he would break 100 at Augusta, even from the tournament tees. And Dusty came out, and Dusty's like, no, you wouldn't. And everybody goes back and forth. And our boss, Spec, said, oh, yeah, I'd do it as well. And we're like, you got to be kidding me. So that's how it started. Then we get on the show, and as we have this conversation, and Drew's very confident. By the way, Drew is a good golfer. This is not like, oh, he's just
Let's not like back Drew. He's not a 25 handicap.
No, Drew is a good golfer. But we still think he might be a little overconfident about the Augusta point. So
I'm sure I am.
I still don't think there's any way you're breaking 100 Augusta.
So
anyway,
while discussing that,
a listener texted in and said, hey, I run the Korn Ferry Tour qualifier. Of course, the Korn Ferry tournament will be in Kansas City in May. I think it's the Advent Health Championship at Blue Hills Country Club. And the gentleman texted in and said, hey, I think I might be able to get him in the qualifier. So we're going to find out after the show. So now Drew is taking now everything's taken a whole nother level to the conversation. Drew's talking about flying in his brother to the caddy, even though Cody wanted to be the caddy. I might have to get Dana Wright. We're going to do some broadcast of this on social media. We got to figure out what the rules are and everything. But Drew, you might be in a qualifier for the Korn Ferry Tour.
I think it's very
exciting. Month from Monday or Friday, whatever
Yeah.
that would be.
I think that the expectation would be to just not finish last.
I don't think you'll finish last.
I think it'd be impressive if you didn't finish last, honestly.
I think this is a valid question that I might need to find out, just in terms of preparation, if this actually goes through.
The deadline to enter is May 7th. If you are not a member, which you're not, PGA Tour member, it's $100. Non-members, $500. We'll figure out the entry fee. Not worried about it. We'll get that figured out one way or the other.
Maybe they can get us the member
Top
price.
4 qualifiers from each site are exempt into the actual Advent Health Open.
Which, again, I am not
Players
even
will be
close.
split. Drew, you're going to be playing at Fred Arbanis Golf Course if we get you into this.
Okay.
Or Falcon Lakes Golf Club.
Okay.
You will not know until like 3 days before which course you're playing at for qualifying.
I think this is a valid question from the 913. Drew, do you know if they can use rangefinders
so.
on the Corn Ferry Tour? I would say
I
no.
seriously doubt it.
I know. However, in the qualifier,
There's cell phone rules too. I just read a whole document about
Probably
it.
for the same reason. You can just use them as a rangefinder.
No,
I
so
bet.
so on the Corn Ferry Tour, there's no question that you can't use it. I'm almost sure of that.
Yeah, you can't pull out the Bushnell and just be like, I got it.
Even though they are looking to implement potentially using those things in PGA Tour sanctioned
Okay.
events.
Interesting.
But anyways, the qualifier, I'm interested in that because I do have a rangefinder.
I doubt you can use it.
We'll get out there ahead.
If I can't
I'm going to
use
have
it,
my notebook.
Then
I'll get yardage.
We're going to walk
Yes.
this course, all right? We're going to walk this
That'll
course.
be-
It says the use of cell phones and other cellular devices is typically prohibited from tournament regulations. However, for open qualifying, limited cellular device use is allowed. The following are allowed: checking the leaderboard in the tournament, accessing tournament notice, calling rules committee, using as a standard compass for directional information without additional features, or getting any type of weather information, including wind speed, measuring temperature and humidity. You cannot use it to get distance information by using an electronic distance measuring device. There's our answer. That's a no.
Okay.
That's a no on
So
that.
no rangefinder, but
You
I'll get out
cannot,
there with the
during
notebook.
the
Drew.
practice
cannot use your
rounds, of
phone
course.
to give or receive advice on choosing a club, increasing the size of putting green, all that kind
Would
of stuff.
if I took notes on the yardage from different points of your potential drive thing, would your brother use my notes even if I get kicked off as caddy? You're going to want those. You're not going to have a rangefinder. You're going to want to know when I said it was 100, because we can use the rangefinder in practice rounds.
I was going to say, without a doubt, he would use the yardage book. You know, he
I'm
would.
going to have to get notes to broadcast this thing.
I'll get the yardage book ready. I'll get you some.
The boss said we can take off the show that day if he qualifies. But we
He
will
said,
do
I can
social
caddy,
media
we would do
coverage.
social media. Alex would do maybe a full broadcast. We'd figure it out. We'd do some stuff. And we're trying to figure out if you can have a gallery.
Yeah, we don't know if listeners would be allowed to watch the qualifying or not, because multiple people have said they would just want to follow Drew around on the course, which it'd be incredible. It would be incredible.
I will
say
say
this.
place, I'm 100% or 1,000% coming to watch.
I'm not saying this, but I, if for whatever reason, let's say yes, it works out,
We get you on the qualifier.
and I play, and there's a moment where Cody's like, "Yeah, you're sitting up at 160 yards away." It's like, I don't know if it's 160. You know, like, no, I don't know if it's
Trust your gut.
160.
Yeah, don't listen to Cody. And that's
No,
it.
I don't know. If I
but-
marked it, though, if I shot it at one point, I don't know why you wouldn't trust
Well,
me.
that's what I'm saying. If I mark it and I like fly the green or something like that,
It's good content. I'll give you that.
I interviewed Drew. I interviewed Drew mid round. Like, tell us what happened. Well, my caddy
Said it
was
was
full of
160.
bleep. He thought it was 160. He actually wrote down 130.
I
Whoops,
just
my
want it
bad.
down-
I meant 130.
I just want it down on
Bad
the,
writing. Sorry.
I want it down on the record that I do not get blame. That
That's fair.
the
Yeah.
blame
That's
will
fair.
be shared in this
Yes.
situation.
But if I give you advice and you take, if I say it's 160 out and you hit it, you know what 160 is for you. You're a good enough golfer. You know if you've hit
Hey,
something about
I'm
160.
curious if
Someone
they
says
get,
Falcon Lakes. Their parents live on Falcon Lakes.
saw
They're a
this.
member. They said we can help you get on there.
We're gonna need
100%
it.
down.
We're gonna need your parents to get Drew and I on the course so we can start scouting a little bit.
I
And
do
then
wonder-
Arbanis, if somebody's got some hookup there, we're gonna need that too.
because it is an actual qualifier event. I wonder if they give you some sort of not yardage book, but they give you some sort of layout of the holes. Like they give you a map of all the holes.
Yeah, so
or
you
if
can go
actually
you
are
can,
like
you can
freehand
go online
sketching
right
this.
now, and I can tournament tees blacks at Falcon Lakes, hole 1, 511
Oh,
yards.
I know. I'm talking like
the diagram.
actual layout of the
they
hole
had that.
itself.
Yeah, that's on there.
That's on there as well.
That's on there. We'll
See this
probably tell you
bottom right?
T
Bottom
location
right,
or
Drew.
pin
It's
location.
got all kinds of stuff.
Perfect. Yeah, because pin locations are they might be different.
It's gonna vary
They might have
depending
it
on
at the
how many
one
days.
spot
You
or
know?
the 6 or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, I can't wait.
Course tour, hole by
wait.
hole by hole. Yeah, I got all the 18 for you.
I've watched the YouTube video of the course tour on Falcon
I
Lakes
have
before.
a call with someone at 2:00 I will give everyone an update tomorrow. We are trying to get Drew in this tournament. This all started because he said he could shoot 100 at the Masters in Masters conditions from the professional tees. We said, no way. And I said, a good litmus test of where your game is getting you in a professional tournament. So the Corn Ferry, I mentioned just get him in the actual Corn Ferry tournament. I don't think I meant that. But the qualifying event's coming up on May 12th, and we think we might be able to get him in that.
Again, I might be able to be in it, but there is no way, there is no chance. You can give me 100 chances. Right now, I would not be good enough to make the Corn Ferry Tour. I want to make that very clear.
Okay.
I am not that level of golfer, and I don't think I ever will be, to qualify for a
breaking
Corn Ferry
100
Tour
at Augusta.
I like
now,
that it said, what if a spectator just does the rangefinder and yells out the distances?
Can't do that. Can't
Just
do that.
one guy in the crowd, Drew, being like, 170! Just yelling it.
Someone says you got to make the golf thing bettable. That's also in the rules as well. There's no betting on if we get Drew in the qualifier, we're not allowed to joke about the betting of the round.
Somebody said
on
they
the
put
show.
down $100. I was
Won't-
like, if I did
won't
qualify,
be able to
actually
do
make it,
that.
that turns
You guys have to do
100
that
into
amongst
500.
yourselves. We have nothing to do with it. Drew's got nothing to do with it.
We will not be allowed to talk about the betting during even the qualifying. Unfortunately, that's a no.
Otherwise, yeah, we'd hit up one of our betting partners
on.
and I'd get it on one of the websites.
I believe, Cody, you also looked up the actual yardage. Like, are they, like, what tees are they using? I think
I actually do think, I thought it was a little bit shorter, but it looks like it's going to be closer to like
60.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
talking
closer.
like 7,000. I'm talking 67.
I think it's going to be closer to 7, but I don't know if that's exact range. I'll get that answer today.
Okay.
Someone says people qualifying for the event shooting low 60s. He knows. He knows.
Exactly.
Drew knows.
Exactly. That's why I'm not qualifying. I'm well
But
aware.
maybe it's just your best day, man.
I'm well aware.
Maybe just dial in.
You got a month. You said if we gave you a month to break 100 at Augusta, or giving you a month to qualify for Corn Ferry.
Actually, I'm giving him a month to break 75. I feel like if he breaks 75, I'm going to be blown away. Blown away.
I have a better
If you
chance
get
of.
if you get to 7, if you shoot a 76 even at
He
this
breaks
thing,
80, I'm
yeah.
going to be impressed.
I have a better chance of shooting under 100 at Augusta than qualifying
I
for
agree.
the Corn
I
Ferry
agree.
Tour.
I agree. I think neither are happening.
I think both are
but
zero, but sure.
But you said we would not be able to prove anything until you got a chance to do something. So
Technically
here we are.
correct. You guys are never going to know if I can break 100
But
at
we're
Augusta.
going to get a rough
I think
idea.
I will know that if you shoot an 87 at the Corn Ferry qualifier at Falcon Lakes.
Okay.
Now, I don't think you're going to shoot that.
If you shoot an 88 or 87 at this thing, then you can't tell us you're breaking 100 at Augusta. That's all.
I would say
But
so.
I'm rooting for you. Cody,
I am too.
Cody and I are going to be big supporters. You think we're giving you a hard time, but when the day
we're on
comes
your
that
team.
you're
We're
on
on
the
Team Drew.
qualifying, whatever you need that day, whatever you need. All right, we'll give you guys an update tomorrow. Although Drew is out tomorrow because he's already starting his training. He's going
training
golfing tomorrow at a
got a
different
Royals
course.
Day game.
We have a Royals Day game. Drew's going golfing.
JT's going to fill in with the Augusta National updates for you, so hopefully he does it correctly.
That's right. That's right. All right, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. The Drive with Bink and Rob coming up next.
What's up, Kansas City?